up? Am I? How late am I? Only 7 minutes late. What's up, guys? How are you? Hey, Andersteam. Who do we got? Crystal. Oh, sorry. I'm glad that I'm late because I'm not glad that I'm late. But as I was getting screenshots, like I was just like editing, cropping it, I started listening to this video. And now I want to play it for you guys. It's very interesting. You guys might have already seen it. Just random. I don't even know how it came. It's from a channel called Crime Night, but it's about Delphi. So definitely there's some things that. Oh, whoa, that was so weird. Oh my God, did you guys hear that? I thought that. Okay, I just thought that was coming from my desk. Like I thought that. Never mind. Whoa, I thought it was a ghost or something. Hey guys, I haven't seen you guys forever. Yeah, Crime Night. I'm gonna play this. It's probably gonna be like. I'm gonna play like how many minutes? Hold on, let me see how long that. Oh wait, how did that come on? Hold on. Hold on. I might want to play that first because that was just freaking interesting. Some of the stuff. So I'm gonna play about probably like 15 minutes of it. We'll go on and off. Hi Ashley, Alibi, Richie, what's up? I haven't seen you guys forever. What's up? Kaylee. Hey Kaylee. Sorry, why did I couldn't say your name for a minute? Yeah, so hold on one second though. I thought usually lately, I don't have my microphone down. Lately, when I start a live, I don't have people for a couple minutes. So I was like, I'll just find this. I have that video already, but I was gonna I don't know if you remember last live, I was talking about going over that video that I did with the text messages, which I did go over the text messages. And it's weird because the things don't even match up to what we know now. So now it's like, I don't even trust, like, who do we even trust? Like the text messages from that David Erskine and stuff. Like now I'm doubting did he even know what he was looking at? Because if you like read some of the stuff, I feel like it doesn't match up exactly to what we know now of everything. So I don't know, but it's just kind of interesting, I guess, to go look back on stuff. Hold on one second. Let me find that video of mine. It's right here. Might be easier just to do it on my video because I have them all like sporadically in files, and it's like I actually already put them together in somewhat of an order on my video, even though there's ones missing. But so let me just say hi to a couple for you guys first. It's been forever, and I want to do open panel. Hey, it's me. Hi. Let's Kaleidohope. Let's watch this video first, like this 15 minutes of this video. It's up to you guys if you guys do you guys want to go over the text messages, those text messages that from that David that they're from way back. I was gonna do them last live, remember, and then I got too tired. You know what? I forgot I had my window open. Why am I should be cold right now. Oh, thanks, Richie. Oh, wait, yeah, have I not talked to you since my birthday? I'm trying to think. I did the live on the way home, but I haven't actually seen you guys. That's right. I did the road trip live. Your last video was really good. Wait, you mean my road? What do you when you say last video? It's me. How are you talking about the road trip video or which one? Oh, are you talking about the pre-record? I'm curious which one you're talking about. The voice comparison, or are you talking about my last live? It can't. Hold on. It's got to be probably the pre-recorded, I'm guessing. All right, hold on. Let me get. Hi, Sandy. So the leaks are real. Yeah, no. Yeah, the leaks, that's real. There's people that have the crime scene photos. Is that what you're talking about by leaks? Yeah, there's real. I haven't seen them. I actually was offered them way early on before like everybody came out and talked about it from somebody, but I just never responded back 'cause I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't even want after what I went through with the autopsy, like, I'm not even getting involved. I don't like at first I was like, first of all, I don't even know if I don't know this person, and they offered Originally, they wanted me to pay, and then they said they were, like, gonna sell them to, the media, mainstream media, but they'll give me a deal. And then they're like, "Okay, well," then they said, "Well, you could just see them, but you can't share them." And I just didn't even I just no, I never even went through with it. But I don't but, yeah, they are real. People have seen them, and the only thing I've seen is, like, the diagrams of the people that saw them that said how they were, the sticks and stuff, which makes me freaking doubt Court TV. Like, everything Court TV sources freaking said it was off. Like, that the way that the people that I trust these people that there was, like, 2 people I watched that made diagrams that are the same. You know what I'm saying? They basically did the same. So obviously they saw the same pictures of how did you guys see them? I took screenshots real quick. Let me find them. Yeah, no, I know the leaks are real. Uh, wait, who? Why are people still like, contemplating that they're not real? I thought after Murder Sheets came out and stuff. I didn't even watch Murder Sheets. There, whatever, but I know they came out and like explained everything. But yeah, so no, I do believe. But the thing is the way people they did the diagrams of the way the sticks were. They're not anything like the way freaking Core TV Source did. Same with the F. I don't understand what Court TV Source was taught, or was it Court TV or Law and Crime? I feel like no, it was it was it was on the Court TV side, right? With what's his name? Same, I mean, the same difference, but yeah. Like, what? Like, that wasn't even accurate. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, let me bring up the screen. Hold on, I have those screenshots. Hold on. In case of somebody that hasn't seen them, I think I did it with my phone. Just screenshots of what it looked like. But yeah, I didn't even um hold on one second. It's just weird because I'm confused who freaking Court TV's source was, because now it's gonna make me doubt, some of their stuff. Because I always trusted, like, okay, if they have a source, it's probably legit, but dang, they were all off on this one, you know? Okay, so I'm cropping this so we could zoom in. So this is one of them, and then I have the other one that's more of a 3D, but I don't know where the screenshot is. So we'll just do I mean, if you just need to see one, really. Hold on, let me send this to my email. How many of you guys have seen the guy like drew like the little stick figures and stuff? But I mean, what's his name did like a more 3D version, which it all looks pretty much the same. Like, so the guy, even with like, even though like not the best drawing, it gets the point across of how it was, right? You just need to know how the sticks are. And I think I don't know though. Like, it's definitely when you see it, it's definitely not somebody trying to cover up the bodies. I mean, that would be stupid. That doesn't even look like that. It seems like it was more something more deliberate than just like throwing. Because if somebody's trying to cover it up, they'd be just throwing stuff, and you know what I'm saying. They'd get leaves, and they wouldn't like put it. In my opinion, I know other people have different opinions, but I just and I think True Crime Investigates. I think you probably have different opinions. I'm get thinking because I think we have different. Like, I think we look at it different on what you think happened, which is fine. That's why I'd love for you to come up and we could discuss it. And I think it always makes for a better discussion when people disagree. I don't know, like, because we could respectfully just disagree and discuss. Sometimes it makes that's where I feel like I learn the most when I discuss something with somebody that disagrees with me. I feel like you almost learn more that way in a way because first of all, you have to like you that are arguing have to argue your side. So you have to come up and try to look for like reasons why you know what I'm saying, why you believe that. So it makes you dig a little bit deeper and then they'll throw out something and then you think and then you know what I'm saying? It just makes you learn things, I think. Um all right, hold on. Let me share the diagram or whatever that this was from what's his name? The Delphi After Dark guy. He just drew like the So let me share that first. For those of you, I know most of you guys probably seen it, but maybe there has been a couple that doesn't and that hasn't, and then we'll do the other 2 things I wanna do before I do the open panel. I have 2 things, like I said, the text messages, if you guys wanna do it, and then for sure I wanna watch this video with you guys, like 15 minutes of the video. It's like a 2-hour video, but we're only gonna watch 15 minutes. Um, alright, hold on one second. And oh, Anthony, if you're gonna come up, maybe you could answer, so this will be good, actually, we'll do the text message first and end with the video, because then I'll open the panel, and if you wanna come up, I wanna hear your thoughts because you probably know these people that they're talking about. It's local people that I'm very curious because I don't know anything about them. Like, the person that they're referring to, I don't know anything about him, so maybe you could fill us in on more. And if I wouldn't have just freaking watched it before I went live, I would have done a little bit of research on him, but I was already running late, so I didn't get to do any research once I learned this guy's name. And then I just went straight to live, so I haven't even got to like look into this person at all, which I want to now after I heard that. But there's two routes I'm going with this. Why it could be important. One has nothing to do with the guy, and the other has something to do with the guy, if that makes sense. You'll see what I'm talking about when I explain. Like, either way, it's making me doubt Richard Allen because of this. All right, because the evidence they have and what these people say. Hold on. All right, let me share my screen, or let me just show you that diagram, or that the person that saw the Anthony, you saw it, right? The the crime scene photos. I know. I feel like I saw a part of your one video where you're, or no, which video was it? Maybe it was an old live or something where you're really against this. But see, I have no room to talk with my controversy that I went through. So you know that I'm all for learning and knowing everything about it. I have nothing against that. I know now that just because I don't doesn't mean that others won't. So I have to be careful, what I portray to the media, but on a personal level. So I know we disagree on that too, which is fine. So hopefully you don't get upset that I'm sharing the diagrams, but I think it's important. Okay, so all right, so this is where the sticks. So I know it's not like a Picasso. No, I'm just making a joke, but yeah, he shows you where the branches are basically. So you have the large branch, a large branch. So it's nothing like Court TV. So Court TV had it right here. They had this right here on Abby. I should bring up Court TVs to show how different they are. But he had this whatever this was, like right here. They had the hands up by the face. So, I mean, and here's another question. Oh, I want to ask you that, Anthony, if you saw these, whoever, I don't know, who has all seen it? You 100% have seen them, right? Or no? Is Abby wearing Libby's jeans? Can you tell? Because when he goes over this, that Delphi After Dark guy, he says, "Oh, Abby's wearing Libby's jeans," but I don't know if people are just saying that because that the memorandum says that Abby has on Libby's clothes. Does it look like he is wearing Libby's jeans? So I'm gonna write that down. We could talk about that because I would like to know. And I don't know, maybe you can't tell, but you should be able to tell because they wouldn't fit. They would be bigger, right? She is? Okay, so you've seen him see through? No, I didn't draw these, Peyton. No, this isn't me. I actually am a pretty good artist. I got that I mean, I'm pretty good. I don't, like, practice it enough, but I've always been, like, on the artsy side where I'm good with, like, like, art type thing. But no, I didn't do that. This is from that guy, one of the guys that's seen it, that's what's his name? I don't know, Rick or something, is just one of the guys that's seen the pictures. So, and then there was another one, I feel like I don't wanna say his name because I don't know, he's treated me so badly, but he does, like, more of a 3D version, and it's basically he has it pretty much lines up with and they both have seen him, okay? So there's a big branch, big branch. Now what another question I have, Anthony, is when I was listening to that Rick guy describe this and he's like, "Oh, it branches off." So are you guys is it just like a stick that when you have a stick and then it just has the branches off? Or so this is just a stick that has these extra branches, it's just the shape of the stick, or did they put the branches that way? Did they add 3 different branches, or is this one stick that just happens to have these branching off? So I want that's another question I want to the way he describes it is just like when you have like a twig type or a branch where it just kind of like there's branches that are why can't I think of how to describe that? But I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So I don't know. I would like to know that. Um, but yeah, there's two big. They each have a big one. They almost look kind of similar. They aren't 100% exactly the same, but they kind of look like they could have been trying to go for the same thing. In a way, I know they're a little bit different. Like, but as far as this and this one's a little bit higher. It's kind of the same idea. Now what else did I wanna know? Yeah, the horn so he said they're kinda like it looks like they, like, kinda cross over, and then the hands. So remember, Court TV, they said their hands were up, like, kinda like this. Didn't he have it more, like, up by the face? They have them, like, more like this, and the way he described it is the hands were, like, inside the sweatshirt. So maybe Tony Yes, exactly, that is just a piece of a tree laying together. Okay, okay. Yeah, but wouldn't you think if they were trying to hide him, wouldn't they just be throwing it? Like, okay, I have a question. If somebody just took like a bunch of sticks and just threw them, you're saying is that what it looks like? How they're laying on there? And now that we could confirm that Abby's wearing Libby's clothes, that I want to discuss that with you, Anthony, because how do you make sense out of that? Why would we see Abby minutes before that in a snapshot on a Snapchat picture in her own clothes? How does she get on Libby's clothes? If it's Richard, he has what, an hour and 15 minutes to do all I mean, how would he get how? I don't know. That part now that you're saying it is for sure Libby's jeans, no, that's just weird to me. That doesn't make sense to me. There's something more to that, I feel like, but we'll discuss it because 'cause you've seen it, so okay, so that's like I said, somebody that saw it, that's his little drawing of it. Yes, they're real. Anthony's here too. He's seen them. People have seen it. Yes. This guy that drew this has seen it. There's another person that's been following the case very closely that did diagrams that's seen it. Yes, it's real. Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was, we, everybody knows that by now. And I'm sorry. Maybe not everybody's following it. But yeah, sorry, I don't mean to get but yeah, so if anybody asks you guys, "Ma," just say, "Yeah," because I mean, um, definitely. Yeah, I know, I just the clothes thing is weird. The oh, Anthony, was one of them look like it was carved? I'm writing these things, and when if you come up, I wanna ask you. Because remember how the lawyer said it looks like one that they carved the stick? Okay. Alright, so we got that. Um Wait, what does it say? The limb that is on Abby's left side is not laid on the ground. It is falling limb that fell and perched between a tree and the ground. Wait, what? The limb that is on Abby's left side is I don't wait, hold on. Let me see what you're saying here. Let me bring that back up. The limb, hold on. The limb that's on Abby's left side is not laid on the ground. It's falling limb that fell and perched between the tree and the ground. You said Abby's, right? Yeah, but why couldn't just because it's not laying on the ground, that's the thing, like, why couldn't the person have laid it on there and it wouldn't be laying on the ground? You know what I'm saying? So, like he did that like they did this one, I think it was purposely I mean, since it wasn't on it because okay, so this branch and then that was laying on top of the branch, right? But I don't think that means that it fell. How does that mean that it fell? It could also mean that the person just put it there on top of the branch, like he did with this one. I don't know, but, oh, the right side. Okay, wait. Oh, you're saying her hold on, maybe I looked at this wrong. Her left side, you were right, this would be her left side. Okay, so you're saying this the limb that's on which limb, though? I don't know which limb you're that could I mean, there's a couple, it looks like. Alright, I don't know. Alright, so, let's go through just real quick, since I wanted to do this last time, I wanna go just through the text messages just because they're kinda interesting now to those messages between David. That'll only take, like, a couple minutes, and then we'll watch that video, and then I'll share the link. Ashley, are you gonna come up for the link too? Alright, hold on. Let me do this first. I just think it's interesting now because now that we know kinda what they look like, I wanna see how these messages of the guy that supposedly was there when they found him, how that pans out, like, how that alright, hold on one second. Why won't it let me ah, cool, freaking StreamYard has, they have a little different setup now since I last, oh, been on it. Hold on, now I wanna see if my thing works, hold on. Ooh, what if it ends up working now? Last time it stopped working when, there was an update. Hold on one second. You know the reason why it takes me forever to do all these screen shares? It's because this glitch, I've talked about it a million times, but it's just it's very annoying because I get criticized for it me being slow, but it's not really my fault until I get a new computer. But hold on. No, shoot, still not working. I was hoping because it was new. Last time when they updated, it freaking stopped working. That was like what, a year or 2 years ago. It's so annoying. Okay. So we're gonna have to do the long way, like um all right, let's do this. All right, I'm gonna do oh wait, that's the wrong one. Do this. Okay, okay, so I'm gonna just play just kinda I'm not gonna play the audio, we'll just kinda look at the graphics I have. Hold on, I wanna see. This is like what year is this? Hold on. When did I make this? 3 years ago. All right. 3 years ago. Look, I got a little full house. I don't know why what I was doing here. I what is this? I don't know where I was thinking, but okay. Want order it I don't know. Okay. So I have it on mute because we're just gonna that's kinda cool though. Look at that. Huh. Okay. Wait, all looks like Windows XP clouds. Yeah? Uh, well, when I am able to get a new computer, it'll be fixed. You know, it's this but it sucks because I got a good computer, like, how many I know it's been, like, what, 3 years or I think I've had this computer a couple years, right? Um, uh, and, I mean, I got, like, a gamer computer 'cause I was editing, and I got one that would be good for editing and streaming. So, like, I got and it's still it really is still, like, good, it's not, like, worth throwing away or anything, so it's like, I hate the fact it's like, I don't need a new computer, but because this glitch like I said, I've had so many people remote into my computer, can't fix it. I've had Dell because this is a G5. I don't know, it's a Dell though. So I've had Dell do it. I've had my provider. Spectrum come in, and I've had, what is it called? Geek Squad. None of them could figure it out, and then I contacted StreamYard, and they couldn't figure it out. So, yeah. So I've had, like, 4 different people trying to figure it out. Nobody could figure out the issue. I've tried to use different browsers. I've tried Firefox, Chrome, what's the other one? The one that comes with what's the main one? I use Chrome, but the one that comes with the Windows, whatever that is. Tried 3 different browsers. So I've tried, guys. I definitely have tried my butt to get this. Okay, so we have some of these, like I said, some are missing, but so we'll just go through the ones we have. So it says not even close. So this is sick rumor, and I am sorry to have to show you this. Thanks for letting me know. No, that's not her nor Libby. Abby was placed there on the ground like a doll, hood up, hands folded, wearing the same clothes as the pic from the bridge. Lie. If she's in Libby's sweatshirt, that wouldn't be the same clothes. Now, Anthony, the sweatshirt they're saying is Libby's isn't the one that she's wearing on the bridge, right? Or was she wearing Libby's sweatshirt on the bridge? It's a different one, right? Let me know, because that's wrong if that's the case. I mean, it's right off the bat, not even the same clothes. Um, so and let's see, ground like a doll, hood up. So was her hood up? I don't know. Hold on. I'm writing these down so I remember to ask. Hood up, folded, hands folded. He explained it as her you can't even see her hands, that her hands are in her sweatshirt. Is that I don't know if that's true, but that's how that guy from that saw the things after dark, Rick guy described it. He said her hands were in the sweatshirt. So I don't know. Now I kind of wish I would have just saw them so I have these answers. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't know. I would like to know for but the thing is this person that contacted me, I didn't know who he was. I didn't you know what I'm saying? It's like some random person. I was like, that's all I need is some freaking controversy now. You know what I'm saying? Somebody claiming, and I just didn't even want it, the drama. So I was just like, if it was somebody I trusted that I knew, and it was like, yeah, because I think it's important to know this stuff. So I wouldn't have showed it to anybody, but I would have said, yeah, yeah, let me see him. But I didn't know this person, and that's just I just didn't even want to deal with it. But I don't know. I would like to now know for this kind of stuff, and to as the trial goes on, so I could oh, I think it could be important to know that information. Um, so wearing the same okay, so we know that. Let's see what the next one is. Hands folded, not hands folded, doll, hood up. So that's already some false things, at least it seems like it. If these people were correct describing it. Hi, Amy. Oh, yeah, from the defenses for sure, Amy. I know that. But the thing is I don't fully I do try I mean, you can't I'm glad that there's now some people outside of that saw it, and I trust more that now they're confirming that. You know what I'm saying? Rather than, just trusting everything somebody that's trying to get their client out, so they're gonna exaggerate and push it as much as they can to try to change the narrative. I'm not saying they were lying because a lot of the stuff is coming to, like, whoa, they were right. But what I'm saying is obviously you're gonna exaggerate a little bit. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. It's just they're defending their person. So both sides are gonna exaggerate and do it, push the boundaries on what they could say that's not a lie, but you know what I'm saying? Not 100% true, maybe. So um, I'm glad that, yeah, we have people now that actually saw it that could actually confirm that this is what it was. But yeah, so it says, David, you told me you found the girls. I just want to confirm the second person with you was Ivan and the third was a lady. It says, no, my sister's husband. And then we called 2 county deputies, Drew Yoder and Darren Ginocola. Um, so my sister's husband The second person with you was Ivan, and the third was a lady. No, my sister's husband. Okay, so let's see what else. And it even gets confusing when you see, like, Becky, like, explaining about the guy that maybe you guys could help me about that. Like, she explains about the guy that sees the deer and then looks up and sees him, and then, at, like, one text, she says PB, which I think is Pat Brown, but then she says, "No, I didn't that's not who I meant." I don't know, it's just confusion. I'll show you when I don't get what she's saying. So he says he saw something. He could not figure out what it was. There were 2 deer standing up there. As he looked up to see what it was, that is when he saw them, said Libby's grandma, Becky Patty. It was a volunteer searcher who discovered the bodies of the Delphi teens lying in the grass between a group of trees deep in the woods. He called his wife, who was with us, and said, "We found them." My, my sister came up and she was crying and said, I'm sorry, said Patty. So he called his wife, who was with us, and said, "We found them." So whoever's with Becky, the person called that found him calls his wife, says, "Hey, um, we found him." And then they tell Becky, but it says he saw something. He could not figure out what it was. There were 2 deer standing up there. As we looked up to see what it was, as he looked up to see what it was, that is when he saw them. Okay, so remember that. Now watch. Hold on. Hi, Morningstar. Hey, Wolfpack. Oh, sorry. I have it on mute so I could just read it myself, but I guess who knows what I'm here, let me go over. There we go. All right. Yeah, so that's the same one. So I'm just okay. So no, I'm fine. Me and my other sister's boyfriend are the ones who found the girls. Tuesday, not much worse you can show me. No, I'm fine. Me and my other sister's boyfriend. Okay, so David's sister's boyfriend or husband or whatever found him. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. Coroner report stated everything was over by 3:30. No R, but I was told the report was not released. Becky Patty told me the families have not been told whether they were art or not. Somebody says she lied to you. Also, Abby survived until the next day she tried to crawl away. Where is there evidence that she tried to crawl away? Now we do know from the memorandum they say that the artery that she was cut, like, that was cut, it would have been a slow death. Remember, he kept repeating that over and over. But so when I originally up until now, I guess, until all this new stuff came out, I always wondered, was the position of her body like, like it looked like she was crawling away? You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. Now that we know how they were, how where does that show that she was crawling away at all? On her back, laying with the sticks on her? If she was crawling away, the sticks would have fell off and she'd be in a different position. So I don't it's like I'm not trusting now that anything this person is saying. Like everything's not even right, and I thought it was legit until now. Yeah, so oh, sorry, Wolfpack. I have no control when they come up, at least at first. And then after, I try to space them out really far apart. I do them manually after, but during it, I have no control with it when they play the ads. Wait. 43 Goblin Anthony, is do you find that you do you feel like that the picture you saw was photoshopped? Why I okay, I have a question. Why is everybody in such denial that that the crime scene photos remember, we're going on now, so 17, s wait, 7 year will this February be 7 years? Hold on, is that right? Yeah. We're going on 7 years. I'm surprised they haven't been leaked yet. You know what I'm saying? That's not that weird that that somebody leaked out the especially now we know how it happened. Somebody that worked for, his defense team doesn't work there anymore, right? I didn't listen to the murder sheet's explanation, but I heard little bits and pieces of people saying it. So maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but what I gathered is somebody that worked for them, that doesn't work for them anymore, that worked in the office, sent him to somebody, and then they ended up spreading around to a few people. What? That's not really that. Why would that be? I don't know. That's not. I mean, yeah. Why are people having such problems believing that? I don't understand. I'm surprised they, stopped it and it was it didn't spread farther than what it did. I'm surprised they were able to contain the passing around of it and that it wasn't leaked everywhere and it wasn't like you know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't think that that's I don't think they're photoshopped. Anthony's saying no, and I don't understand why people are having such trouble believing that they're not real, but I don't know. We know they exist, so 7 years, everybody that's, came across them, I'm surprised, that it hasn't leaked before. I'm serious, you know how people are. It only takes one person to send it to somebody, and then it could spread like wildfire. So 7 years, they kept it contained? Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Um, yeah, I don't get that. It says, how she survived until the next day, try to crawl away. Nope, don't believe that that's accurate. Uh I would like to ask like a well, once we do get because we don't even have like the autopsy and like the actual uh specifics, but like to have like a doctor or coroner, whatever, explain, when I'm sure they have it in their discovery, but since we are not. But anyway, explain like how long would she have survived with that kind of injury? Because they're saying it would have been a lot like a slow death, like, what do they mean by that? Do they mean 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half hour, hours? You know what? I don't un you could look at it in different ways. Does anybody know? Did anybody explain that when they said that? That it was slow? Like, I don't know. I'm just curious what they mean by that. Um, yeah, so that's the same thing. So remember, I think these are coming up twice because I think this is my video and I'm talking, so I'm probably, like, talking about stuff, and then when I go read it, that's why I didn't wanna play the audio because I don't want I don't know, I hate listening to my voice at okay, so yeah, let me fast forward here. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, that's we already did that. Oh, no, wait, actually, there's some new ones. Okay, so alright, so this says oh, wait, hold on. The thing was in the way. Move. They were not bound. They were not bound. They were touching, but not tied together, which they weren't touching, but Abby was dressed Libby was nude, so that's true. Libby's top half was covered with leaves and sticks, almost like they were trying to cover her, so I guess people could have saw it like that, so that somebody looking at that could have thought that that's what that was for sure. Um, and somebody says, "But you said there was no R. If there was no R, there is no DNA," which isn't true. There could be DNA without R, but anyway. The person says, "Correct. I don't know why she was nude, but I read the coroner's report. The only DNA would be from Libby's fingernails. She fought like hell." So I don't know. Anthony, was there DNA under her fingernails? Do you know? I don't know. We don't know any of these. We know like little rumors we've heard, but I don't even know what the word on the street of that is. Like, what are people saying that was there DNA? I don't know. Yes, maybe it is the DNA they are referring to. Please let me know if there's anything else, and if I come across anything, I will contact you. Whoever did it targeted Libby for sure and knew what they were doing with Abby. It was personal with Libby. And it says, yes, I heard Libby had most of the injuries, but it could be that she was trying to defend Abby. She was bigger. Wait, a needy cat. What? Libby's head was an inch away from being taken completely off. Abby was stabbed in the heart and artery in her neck. Oh, not that you know of about the DNA. Okay. So what DNA did they have? Like when, that they supposedly were, you heard that they had DNA, unless that was just like a rumor. I always doubted if they really did. So I answered a question of yours earlier today. The witness that saw him leaving did not report the blue jacket. He only described the short-billed hat and the scarf or whatever it was over his lower face. When he saw Libby's first pic, he was sure, however, that was who he saw. He spoke only twice about what he saw nearly 2 years ago and would speak no more for whatever reason. These are just old, like, screenshots, remember. This video is from 3 years ago, and then they're even older than that. So, did BG ditch some clothing? That's a valid question. The early witness described him to law enforcement before she saw Libby's pics, exactly like the pics except the scarf. So, yeah. Let me see while this is doing that to the next one. Let me see what you guys are saying. Took pics, that would be in the PCA. Oh, wait, why? Who's saying the killer took pics? Where are you getting that from? Hi, Vincina. Oh, because somebody said Alan. Is that why? No, what was found in Alan's pic? Is that who you're referring to? I don't know. I doubt he had it pictures either. If he did, I mean, by how many years, that long, I bet he got rid of them by now. I mean, who knows, but I don't think he has them. Well, I'm probably rambling on in this video talking about I don't know what, but I'm definitely talking about something because I just, put in some visual stuff while I'm talking. I don't know if there's any more. Yeah, there's still some more. Hold on, these ones. I don't know though. Hold on. The other ones I might not. Oh, here's a story about the 2-minute video that was really audio. Mike, Patty, Becky, Patty, and Anna were able to listen to 2 minutes of the audio from Libby's phone. And the audio, what was heard was Libby asking Libby if the creepy guy was still following them. They could hear Libby saying, mm-hmm. The girls were talking about where they should go. Then the next thing they heard was him saying down the hill. Then the next thing they heard was a gun being cocked. All right, let's see. If there's any other text. What's this? Oh, that's from a different experience somebody had. And I'm not going to go through all that random stuff right now. What is that? Hold on. It says, please say more audio from Libby's cell phone was played for the victims' families, including a mention of a man they noticed behind them. Police say the girls mostly talk about stuff girls talk about in the recording, but they also mention the man. The only audio that has been released to the public from the phone is that of a man's voice ordering German and her friend Abby down the hill. What's this? Um, oh, that's just somebody's theory. Okay, so well, actually, this is kind of interesting to read now. This is just somebody's theory back, years ago. Says my own theory is that he grabbed Abby on the bridge, and that's why we see what appears to be the edge of her jacket in one of the stills of BG. Also, this would explain why we've been told that Libby could have made a run for it, but she stayed for Abby. I think he had her on his grip, and that's how he was able to control both girls. I think that there might have been an altercation or assault of some type before they crossed the creek. Not necessarily a sexual assault, but some control maneuver. Then both girls crossed the creek with him. I do think he attacked Abby on that creek ledge. I don't know if it was to incapacitate her or if she struggled. I'm unsure. I think that there's blood pooled in that area of dirt near where the divers were searching a tree trunk in the water. It doesn't sound like he are them, as you've stated, based on what I've heard, but I don't think he partially covered Libby in any attempt at modesty. I really think he was just trying to conceal them as much as possible so he can make a run for it. So remember, this was from years ago. This before all this new stuff came out. Um, and then yeah, this is just like remember, this is from a while ago. So that's all I really wanna um who is that? Hold on a second. One second. Who is that a picture of? Oh, okay, never mind. That's the guy from the recording. All right, so let me take this down and then let's watch. Okay, let's watch. I want that removed. There we go. Let's watch that part, that video that I wanted to watch, and then. Okay, so I was gonna. I think I'm gonna skip since it's already taken me for. Well, I've already been on for an hour, and since that I found this new stuff, I'm thinking I'm gonna skip this other stuff. I don't know. I had like different other screenshots that I was gonna share, like from the Cheyenne, the one witness. Somebody asked, "What time did you get to the trails, and did you take any more pics you'd be willing to share other than the one posted in the beginning?" She says, "I was there around 3:45 to 3:50. The other girl that I ran into didn't know she was going to be there, and I also know her personally. I was there at 3:30." Um, hold on. I'll just read a couple and then we'll watch it. After I got out of my car and was already walking towards the bridge, I had a missed phone call from a telemarketer around 2:50. I didn't ever go public. I posted pictures of the bridge after I left before the girls were considered missing. That's why I've never released the name of my friend who I was with or the other two who were at the bridge before me because I'm saving them from the backlash and drama that came along with it. I'm not pissing anyone off. I'm just stating facts. Oh, that's actually, hold on. Let me make sure that all the ones, I feel like there was, on a second. Let's do this one real quick. Becky Patty, some of um, actually, let me open it with photos so I could. Okay, so this is with Abby's mom. She says, just that it wasn't said, I ain't. Oh, wait, hold on. There's another one before that. Hold on. Wait, this should let me go to the next one. So it's this thing where Becky is saying that. So here it says, "Hi, Anna. If you have a second, can you tell me if creepy guy was ever said by Libby or Abby on the recording. Thank you." And Anna says, "No, it was not. It was something Becky said during an interview." Dang it, it's not letting me go between for some reason. Just that it wasn't said. "I ain't throwing anyone under the bus." And she says, "Okay, no problem." And then she shares here, let me I hate that it won't just automatically go to photos. Um, she shares this conversation with Becky. It says, "Good morning. Happy Monday. I have another question to try to clear it up. You don't mind. The creepy guy comment was Libby heard on the audio calling BG creepy guy." And Becky Patty says, "It was Abby. She was the one talking about BG." But Anna's saying, "No, creepy guy was never said. It was just, it was, is he still behind us," or something like that. But I could see how this is just a misunderstanding where this person is asking, "Oh, about, like, were they talking about the creepy guy?" And she's like, "No, she was, yeah, she was talking about the one, she was the one talking about BG." I could see it, like, Becky not saying, like, Becky maybe not meaning that she actually said creepy guy, but she was just talking about the creep, you know what I'm saying? Talking about BG, the creepy guy. And this person's taking it like she's saying it, she says creepy guy. I don't know. I could see it just a misunderstanding possibly, even though she does put it in quotes. But some older people, they don't, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't really mean anything to them as far as, what do you guys think? I don't know. They both heard the recording. So one person is saying, no, nobody said creepy guy. They're making it seem like Becky's saying that they did say creepy guy. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. But, um, and then this was between Anna and somebody. It says, "This has been frustrating me all day. Every time I see someone said, well, they said no connection, I'm just about ready to pull my hair out." LMAO. Remember, these are old screenshots. Um, and Anna says, "Why would they ask to have the tip sent to the girls' hotline?" This is talking about the Anthony Shots profile. "Also, I see that Anthony Shots profile was liking post. Do you feel this may lead elsewhere?" And Anna says, "Because they found it during the investigation." Um, so she's saying that she doesn't think there's a connection, it looks like. Why this isn't just letting me scroll over. Let's see. Oh, here's this, Anthony. What about this? Because I remember hearing this, but it might just be a misquote or something. But it says, I'm gonna write this down to ask you if you come up. So it says, "The girls haven't answered their phones since around the time they went missing. Missing, abducted, we don't know for sure," said Patty. The cell phone has been pinging around town, and here there is a cell phone tower, but the ping was last noted around 5 to 6 hours ago, and they say the phone is now dead." Wait, I remember reading some, wasn't that in some documents too about the cell phone pinging in different areas? Does anybody remember? Now that I'm thinking about that, I'm remember reading something about that. Um, so here's that one thing I was talking about. No, that's the one I already read. Hold on, I want to read the other one about the deer. I think it's one of these from Becky where it's confusing. What's that say? Not totally sure. Oh, talking about Pat Brown lost his keys. Where did that info come from? "I talked to his wife and asked her if Pat lost his keys. She said that never happened. If that is correct, I have no reaction to think she was not telling the truth. Where did that come from?" And she says, "Not sure though." Sorry guys, it's not letting me just hit the next photo for some reason. It's driving me nuts. Um, and somebody asking Brad, "Just a rumor, just humor me for a minute. Did you search for Libby on the night of the 13th? And did you tell anyone the girls were not there where they were found because you searched there the night of the 13th, trying to nip a rumor?" And he says, "No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there until the morning of the 14th. Just stumble upon a post from 10 weeks ago. I'm sure you're familiar with it, but you spoke up. My question is in asking because I don't think it's ever been confirmed and maybe a rumor. Oh, here's that one where it does sound like so she said, "Did the girls or were they ever speaking or of or mention creepy guy? I would like to put this to rest because I've never seen nor heard it be confirmed." And she says, "Yes." So I don't know. It still could be just like she's talking about in general, talking about the creepy guy. I still think it could be a misunderstanding that she didn't mean that they actually said creepy guy. Who knows? Because it doesn't make sense. Because if they didn't say it, why you know what I'm saying? And I don't think she's not gonna be lying on purpose, so I think it's just a misunderstanding. Um, so here's, like, Sharon Pemper it was not Pat Brown that made that call, and his wife was not with me. So the person that remember David said, "Oh" how did he word it? Like, I wait, somebody called the person that found him called his wife that told Becky that was with Becky. So they're saying the person wasn't Pat. So the whole thing about who was there and who found him and all that stuff, it's confusing because I feel like we're getting like not the same thing. We're not getting the same answers. Maybe you could help me with that, Anthony, if you know for sure. Because was David across the water, across the creek, or was he on the same side? So, Becky says, "Okay, we did see a small clip of a video. Um, law enforcement had a couple of questions on this part. At the time, Mike and I were asked not to discuss it, and I will continue to respect that request. I do not know where this information above came from and will not confirm anything concerning this." I'm not sure what forget which one went first, so what she was referring to, sorry. Um, so yeah, it says the guy that found the girls was by himself when he actually found them. PB found them after he saw some deers and he looked up and there what they was. He called his wife and she was with Becky. So this person is saying, wait, found them and he saw some deers. This person is saying Pat Brown called his wife and it was and she was with Becky and told them that he found them. But Becky said it wasn't Pat Brown. And all Becky's saying is no, he was not alone. So maybe okay, so maybe she's saying it was the person. Do you see how this is confusing? Am I the only one that's like if you follow this, it's not and it's Becky like saying two different things. I know true crime, but if you listen to some of the stuff Becky says, she's not it's not. Okay, so she's saying now Pat Brown, this person's saying Pat Brown found them after he saw the deer. So now they're saying it was Pat Brown that saw the deer. But didn't Becky just say, hold on, isn't this one where she said it was David? Hold on, maybe not. He saw something. He could not figure out what it was. There were two deers. As he looked up to see what it was, that is when he saw them, said Libby's grandma, Becky. It was a volunteer searcher who discovered the bodies of the Delphi lying in the grass between a group. Okay, hold on. He called his wife, who was with us. Okay. He called his wife, who was with us. This is Patty saying this. My sister came. So they're talking about, right? The same person that saw the deer called his wife. Okay. If you're following that. So they're saying the person that saw the deer is the one that found them, called his wife that was with us, Becky's saying. Okay, whoever that was, whoever saw the deer, but then we go back to here and we're seeing that where's the one that says that it was Pat Brown that saw the deer? And then we see Becky say, no, it wasn't Pat Brown that that it wasn't Pat Brown's wife that was with us. Where does that make any sense? I know it's not that important, I guess, but it's just look. Okay, so it's like so Pat Brown was in the search party opposite side of the creek where the girls were found and spotted the girls because he saw two deer. So technically, he didn't stumble upon their bodies, so to speak, yet he's traumatized by what he saw in the counseling. What he saw in counseling. And Becky says, he isn't the one I was talking about that saw the deer. He was in the search party. It was on the same side of the creek as the girls. No, he didn't actually stumble over them. Says, thank you for clarifying it. It's difficult to follow these messages. Sometimes they jump all over. Okay. So now she's saying, nope, Pal isn't the one that found he is the one that found him. He was on the same side as the girls, but he isn't the one that saw the deer. Okay. So who's the one that saw the deer? Does anybody know? Because the person that looks like the person that saw the deer is the person that had the wife that was with Becky, right? But at least from that, but I don't know if he's the one. I don't know. Anyway, it's just confusing. Um Somebody says, so law enforcement said that the one of the girls said, is that creepy guy still following us? And then Becky just says, check the interview with Holman and Alexis Adams. Okay, thank you. So yeah. Um, so I'm still a little bit confused on who was there. I mean, who found them and who saw the deer. Oh, here's the one about the deer. So Pat Brown found them after he saw some deers and he looked up and there he was. He called his wife and she was with Becky and told them that he's found. No, he was not alone. She's saying no, Pat wasn't alone. So maybe she's just saying, what she's saying is maybe that whoever because this person's saying Pat found the deer. So maybe she's saying no, he wasn't alone. Maybe she's insinuating that no, somebody else saw the deer. Who freaking knows? He called his wife and she was with Becky. So but she said Pat Brown wasn't the one that called his wife. So you think she would be like, no, he's not the one that called his what? Called her. I'll show you the one where it says that and then we'll move on. Sorry. I don't know why that's just weird that why is this so even this stuff so like mixed up? Look, it was not Pat Brown that made the call and his wife was not with me. I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's move on. This is weird. All the rest, I don't think. Here's one of Logan and Abby picture. It said him and his sister. Yeah, I know, Sin City. That's what I'm saying. David said it was his. No, he said it was his sister's husband, didn't he? He said it was his other sister's husband. Well, one of them he calls her boyfriend, one he says a husband. So it's probably it's the same thing. You know, I could see how you could just interchange them. So basically, his sister's man is who he said was with. He was with, and does he say his sister? Wait a minute. I have to look back now. I already forget because it's so freaking confusing. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, and then remember we were going over this stuff. Um, remember about the whole thing with the Richard? You know what? Okay, we'll go over these later. Let me watch the parts of the video, then I'll go back to these because I do want to talk to you about that thing that was said about Richard early on and if there's any truth to that. Okay, so let's watch this movie. So this video that I just watched before this live, it's by hold on, let me see, Crime Night. Let me get it pulled up. And we'll like I said, I have like maybe 10 more screenshots I want to go through, but we'll try to mix it up a little bit. Those will only take like 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so this was going to be like about 15 minutes of this video, but I'll have to stop it periodically. And I want to stop it because I want to see what you guys think about some of this. So it's that Julie Melvin, that's the video. Wait a minute. Anthony, that's the video I'm talking about that I just watched the other day where I said, I don't think about you maybe not agreeing with the pictures and stuff. Remember, I was like, it's a video and I can't remember. It was a part of that. She was on your video and you were getting pretty worked up and it seemed like she's trying to calm you down a little bit. Which is fine. You could be, I get passionate about things, but that's the video I was talking about earlier. Okay. So it's Julie Melvin and Crime Night. It's about from about 4 months ago. All right, let me oh, I thought I sent it to me. Hold on. Let me send it to me. Shoot. Thought I did. Hold on, just give me 1 minute. So hold on 1 second. Give me 1 minute until it comes through. It's pretty it's definitely worth a discussion once we listen to it. That's why I think it's gonna be good to who's gonna come up on panel though? Think about it, guys, because after this, I'm gonna do the panel, and I would like to have a good panel discussion. Hold on a second. Oh, I didn't mute that. Did you guys have you guys been hearing an echo by any chance? All right, give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. I'll watch Crime Nights newer videos later. There's just this one video that I want to play because I'm not going to play all his videos on my channel. There's just clip I want to play. It's about two different things. So the first one, they talk about Brad Weber. She talks talks very highly about his mom, but then they go into talking about Brad. So it sets up with Brad, and then it goes into something else that I think is kind of important. I feel like that makes me even doubt the whole bullet that they have of Richards even being number one, being relevant in what happened. It could just be like a coincidence that you'll see what I'm talking about. See what you guys think. So we're going to start it at 42 minutes. Like I said, this is Crime Night. And let's start at about 42. He's interviewing Julie Melvin. And we'll start it about right here. And they're going to be talking about what? Weber's, like, because the Rob Weber's is the property that's right by the right there, like right by everything. So here we go. Why is that not?
Try and vilify the guy in any way, shape, or form. I'm just attempting to get to know who some of these people were, because she said initially that Brad Weber had been arrested and taken into jail for questioning. So I'm trying to get an opinion or an idea on who Brad Weber was, because of information that I've just recently heard pertaining the individual, pertaining some video that is available. So let's listen to what Julie had to say.
I know. I'll just say that I personally have had no negative encounters with him. I know that Kay loves her son very much. I know that he loves his mom. He's recently gotten married. I think it's his second wife, and now they are living on the property. I do know that, like, when I wanted to come out there and bring an investigator.
Real quick. So they go on, I think before this, because I might have caught it after, where I think she explains how Kay Weber, like, she was on the property and she texts her and was like, hey, we're watching you or whatever, and then they end up being like best friends or whatever. But she goes on to talk about how they were out of town when that happened, but their son Brad was there when this happened. So when it happened, they went to his house and brought him down to the police station and interviewed him because he was there and the property's right there. So, okay.
he's a really good investigator. And at this point in time, we didn't even have an arrest yet. Kay was open to it, but she said, just ask Brad. And I had asked Brad. He's like, we're busy, which I understood. I just said, hey, I'm not even going to come on your property up by your place. I just need to cross the bridge and go down the hill. I won't bother you otherwise. And he kind of like, I think he just didn't want somebody there, and I understand. And so then I said, well, I'll just talk to your mom. And I think he was like, I'm not very happy with Julie Melvin, kind of a thing. That's what he said. And I'm like, well, I hope that he doesn't think bad of me. It's just, I was so used to her being very welcoming and understanding that we've got 2 murders to solve. Okay. I'm not going to bother you. Please just be understanding that I just have to go down. I won't come up to your property. And I was giving him the respect to say, hey, do you mind if I come? And if I'm over somewhere across the creek, never mind me, kind of a thing. And I just think he just didn't like that. I mean, I've heard other things. I know there was a recent scuttle that happened with some two young girls violating and the property and coming down on the driveway, and then he allegedly kind of cornered them and held them until, or I don't know physically, but I don't know. That's just hearsay stuff. I
think that's she looks like she's outside, maybe in a barn or something, or like in a porch. So I think it's relaxing. I love that sound. Like all like relaxing outside. But anyway, yeah.
I think there was something in the news about it, and then the police. No, I mean, he's always been nice to me and respectful, and I just have had very little interaction, but he was very nice to answer my question. Do you want me to tell you about the real important question that I had for him one time? Okay, so I met in March of 2017. I met a police officer, and of course, this is like when it's all fresh. And I was in an area where it was just one-on-one, and I said, hey, are you aware of the Delphi murders? Do you know anything about that? And he's like, well, yeah, my partner and he was IMPD detective, Indianapolis Metro Police Department. But he was a detective, he and his friend. And I said, so what have you heard? And he's like, well, my partner and I were sent there to investigate the crime scene. And I said, you were? He said, yeah, they just needed some extra hands. They needed help to kind of look around. And I said, did you find anything? He said, we just found some bullet casings. I said, you did? And I said, like, do you mind telling me what kind of casings were they? What was the caliber? Because I have guns, and I'm just curious, go out there and shoot. And I know that Cade said people would come out, people would be shooting. Like the neighbors, it was not unusual shooting. So you just kind of become accustomed to it. You don't really think about it because it was kind of a common thing. And he said they were 40 caliber. And I said, 40 caliber? So I said, that's interesting. I said, that's not typically something like you're going to do a shotgun. I know I've gone out and done my AR. Well, actually my Colt M4. I've gone shooting, some of the semi-automatic and stuff. So I was just like, okay, 40 caliber. Okay. Didn't think anything of it. But then later, probably about, I'd say within a year, so from 2018, I asked Kay, hey, she was talking about how the police had taken Brad's gun, one of his guns, and for 6 months didn't give it back. And I said, what'd they take it for? She said, for ballistics testing. I said, do you know what kind of gun they took? Or I really wanted to know the caliber because what the police had told me. So I just kind of wanted to see if it matched up. And so I asked, she goes, well, you can ask Brad. So I messaged him and I said, do you mind sharing what type of gun police took that they held on to, and they were doing ballistics testing. And he said it was a 40 caliber Sig Sauer. Now, we knew nothing. Yes, this is in 2018. Yes. So when I heard that they had an unspent bullet from Richard Allen's gun, it was from a 40 caliber Sig Sauer, I'm like, whoa, this could get kind of sticky, because the ejected marks, I mean, how do you reconcile that could it have been, I mean, how do you just...
So when I interjected Julie here, I was basically letting her know that from the research that I've conducted and paying attention to the Innocence Project and cases that they've in fact looked at, they've come to the conclusion that tool mark signs, basically what the Indiana State Police and Nick McClelland are trying to push in their PCA regarding the cartridge that they found allegedly at the location, that it was recycled through Mr. Richard Allen's firearm. There's a large body of evidence out there that's refuting this tool marking analysis as inconclusive, that it cannot be used in a court of law to positively inculpate a person. So that's what I was letting Julie know. And the other thing I spoke about to Julie that I asked was the fact that I had no idea that people, in fact, went to the area of the Moonon High trails or the surrounding farms to go shooting, to go hunting. I mean, I had heard allusions to that mentioned by Ron Logan, but, you know, if you've got an area that has been used by hunters in the past and people go to those locations to discharge their firearms, you know, who's to say that any bullet could have appeared at that location? Let's carry on with Julie.
Fools are that's fine. I'll look into it, but you're missing the point. There's a specific piece of information I wanted to play. It's not about just playing his videos. I'll check it out. This is the first video I've ever seen of his. I'll check it out, but I just wanted to actually play the specific part because I want to talk about it. So that's fine. I'm sure he does have recent videos. He's a creator, but I'm not going to play all his videos. Just because a video is old doesn't mean it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know it's 4 months old. It's just a specific thing. I listened to this whole video, and this is the point. One of the parts I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting about the bullet and about this Brad Weber guy. And this is the reason I wanted to play it. So it made me think of two different things. Number one, what do we know about Brad Weber? Number two, what if this bullet is just a random one, maybe from his gun, because he hunts and he shoots. Maybe he doesn't have anything to do with the murder, but he's just shooting his gun. It just happened to be in the spot where the bodies were found. If there's people shooting back there, it wouldn't be that weird that there'd be a bullet because we heard it was like in the grass, in the dirt. It wasn't just laying on top. So you would expect, like, they found the bodies the next day. So if this bullet just fell out of Richard's pocket or out of his gun or whatever, however it happened, why was it like, and we don't know for sure because, like, the defense said there's no pictures of. Oh, there's a picture of it in the. Wait, Anthony, can you see the bullet in the pictures? So suppose there's a picture of it like in the dirt, but wouldn't it just be laying on the top? Like, why would it be like the way they described it? I mean, hopefully they'll show it that at the trial, so we'll have to see. Was it really like dug into the dirt? Because if that's the case, how do we know that just wasn't something else that somebody else dropped? And it has nothing to do with it. And this guy from Crime Night saying, like, those ballistic tests from how they tested it because it was not fired, that's even kind of not very accurate. You know what I'm saying? So what if this was just a bullet from Brad's gun? He had a Sig Sauer 40 caliber. Or what if it is involved in it? I don't know much about Brad. I want to look more into him. But I just went two different routes as I was thinking, oh, shoot. This guy was there, very close. He was interrogated. He must have, I don't want to say cleared because I don't think they ever said anybody was necessarily cleared, but and then he wouldn't let Julie and her investigators come on the property after to look. Which the mom was like, "Yeah, but ask Brad," and Brad said no. Brad was there, so that's kind of suspicious. But even if he has nothing to do with it, why then? How do we know this bullet wasn't just there from another reason? If that's the only thing they have, they better have something else on Richard. Because if that's the only thing they have, and now we know that people go hunting, and we know like the one guy that lives right there freaking has the same kind of gun that bullet's from. How do we know he didn't just drop it? I mean, do you guys think I'm crazy or I want to know how good and accurate it is from how they said if it like how did they describe it? Like when it goes through the gun or I don't know. I'm not familiar with the guns, but it wasn't fired, but how did they say it whatever through the gun and it has like a signature or whatever, but this guy's saying that it's not very reliable or whatever. So I want to look more into that actually. That's some research. Yeah, I don't know. Because if now they're saying it might not even be able to tell, they might not even be able to use that actually in the let me see. Well, because you better believe if that's out there, the defense is going to bring that up, during the trial. That's going to create a bunch of reasonable doubt if that's the only piece of evidence, and they could bring up like some kind of experts that show that that's not really reliable. I don't know. Like I said, I'll research it myself, but it's just making me doubt if that's all they have on this guy. How the heck did they narrow it down to him? It's pretty reliable, but Alan, we know. Okay, does anybody else know too? Well, but we know he has it, so he could shoot. I'm sure he's shooting. A lot of people are shooting back there. That's my point. Maybe he's not hunting anything, but he's shooting. The guy that lives right there has the same kind of gun. What if it's his bullet? Yeah, I know. So wait, what do you mean fools are us? He's covering up what do you mean by covering it up? So covering up I don't even know what he's saying because I refuse to watch him. And the only reason I know he did that other thing is because I seen somebody in a group had a screenshot from it, but I won't watch him. I actually have him on do not recommend. Oh, so he doesn't even pop up. But um yeah, so what do you guys think? Lawyers have been talking, they're seeing in their cases. Nah, he's just a narc. Wait, who's a narc, Derpscene? Oh, you timed out who? Huh? I don't know who you're talking about. Wait, what? Who's being rude? I missed something. Okay. I didn't see. Well, no, maybe because I was being kind of rude because I was talking about because he kept talking about whatever. Science with a bullet is being used in cases. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so hold on. I think let me see if there's any more that
I was out there one day.
Oh yeah, there's one more thing I wanted you to hear on this.
I heard shooting in the distance. I heard boom, 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 boom. And I'm down under the bridge at this point, and I hear somebody. It sounds like they're up on the land. Almost sounds like sounded like to me Ron Logan's property, and they were shooting. Yeah, it was very loud. But well, maybe I could bring up the shooting real quick. I bet you the day, and I have the date if I go back in my records. I bet you the date that I was there and heard the shootings, that none of those shootings were reported to police. There was probably no one called in that date and filed a police report to say, I hear somebody shooting guns that date. So it would make sense that even if there were gunshots heard, people become oblivious and they wouldn't have called in because that's a common thing that happens out there. So likely, even if there were gunshots, people say they didn't hear them, but you just don't know.
Okay, so I interjected Julie over here because I had a few questions to ask of her, and these are questions that I had no idea were part of this of this double homicide. She spoke about two detectives that had come from Indianapolis, from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, who were called in to come and help with the search. And she went and told you guys that these two detectives, surprisingly, were the ones who discovered cartridges or spent cartridges at the location. Now, I had no idea that the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department was part of this criminal investigation. I knew of the Bureau, Georgia Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, the Delphi Police, the Indiana State Police, but I had not heard anything about the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department sending two detectives who, by the way, were the ones who discovered some shells at the location that belonged to a .40 caliber 6-hour weapon. And I went and asked her when Julie said they, when she spoke about they, I wanted to know, I wanted to have clarification in my mind if they, when she spoke if they were the ones that in fact discovered those cartridges, or if when she spoke about they, that she was talking about law enforcement in general. So let's listen to what she has to say.
They said they found bullet casings. Those two detectives found those. He said, my partner and I found bullet casings out there. And I said, so maybe, I don't know, because I think they needed the manpower, but I could tell you so much more. I have so much more information on that. But the as far as I think my phone might need to be plugged in. That's why I'm hoping my husband will walk out here and plug that back in. So the bullet casings, I said, you found bullet casings? I said, well, was that from like, you think the murderer or were they just out there? He goes, I don't know. They were just out there. So I said, so they could have been old. They could have been from somebody just target shooting, stuff like that. He goes, possibly, I don't know. So I said, so what did you do? Because we just gathered them up and turned them in. And so I found that interesting. And I didn't think anything of it until I heard the type of, that they had an ejected bullet from Richard Allen's. Yeah, so that right there.
Okay. No, I was saying I didn't want to interrupt her thought process or whatever. But what is your picture? Oh my God, why did that crack me up? You probably saw my reaction and then I stopped myself because I think he was in the middle of saying something. But oh my God, what is that from? I know it looks like Mario kind of, or who is that? Where did you get that? That is too funny. It's cute. He's cute though, with his little mustache. Anyway, I have a question. So if I put, well, I'll just have to do it. I'm gonna put a link up here soon. All right, hold on. Let me finish this. So, I mean, are you guys listening to this? Am I the only one that finds this quite fascinating and quite now after everything? And I don't know. Something is just not right here. Is it making anybody else doubt Richard more? So, Alan, I have a question because I know you're all for Richard being guilty. Do you think okay if the bullet is the only thing that they have, are you still 100% sure they have the right guy just from one bullet that was in the dirt? Like that's enough to convince you without any reasonable doubt? If they indeed really don't have DNA like the memorandum said? I mean, God, I don't know. I don't think that wouldn't be enough. If I was a juryman, well, I'd have to hear the whole case. But let's say that was the only strong piece of evidence. I couldn't put somebody away for life and be that unsure. I don't know. They better have more than that is all I gotta say.
Or,
'Cause I feel like I'm a pretty fair person, and hopefully the jury they find is like I feel like I could see both sides. You know what I'm saying? I try to like everybody's biased to a degree. You know what I'm saying? You can't even help it if you try not to. You have like a you might have I don't know. You are from all your experiences, and as much as you try to look at stuff objectively, some people could be pretty good at it. I think I'm pretty good at it, but you still can't take it away. Like you can't make yourself like a blank slate and view things like blank. You know what I'm saying? You're always going to have your experiences, like you're looking through all your experiences in all your life, and it's going to make you biased to yourself, to how you've seen the world, but experienced the world. But I mean, some people are at least sometimes better at like trying to look at it more objectively. So I feel like a good jury member would be somebody that you know, is able to do it as good as possible. So I just think if they do get even if they get a couple good jury members, they are able to do that and that's all they have, like, that's going to be too much reasonable doubt. I'm not saying I don't think I could say like 100% he didn't do it. I think there's a chance that he did, but I do have a reasonable doubt enough where I don't think I'd be comfortable doing it. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with sending them to jail. But like I said, we don't know what they all have. I'm just asking you, Alan, if it does come out that that's the only thing they have, would you still feel comfortable like saying, "Yep," if you were on a jury, guilty?
that was interesting. One of the other things that
I'm sorry, I don't mean to point you out real quick, but I know you're one that I know for sure is like hasn't budged, and you're like, that's why I'm just asking you, somebody that's very set in what you think as far as this case. So I don't that's why I'm asking you if you'd be a perfect person to ask. Wait, read chat, DKN. DKN read chat, Zav. What? I don't know what DKN means. Are you Yeah, I don't know. You keep saying the same thing over and over, though. He has recent videos, jams, whatever. You keep saying the same thing. I heard you. I mean, I already saw that, so you don't need to keep repeating it. I see what you said. That's fine. You have a right to have your own opinion. And I know he has more videos. He's a creator. I'm not going to sit there and play all his videos. If you guys want to watch it, go watch his videos. That'd be rude. Like you don't do that to other people. You don't just play all their videos. That's for people to go to their channel. You could play clips, fair use. You could play little parts, but I'm not going to go just start playing his list of stuff. So this is just something I wanted to
since I work in Indianapolis. I met another person and I was talking about the Libby and Abby case. And this was probably 3 months after I talked to that detective. I just got lucky to be I was in the right place at the right time. And I said, I was asking them about, I asked what they did for a living. And they said, "Oh, we're the lead fingerprint specialist for the ISP." And I said, "You are?" Yeah, they said, "Yeah, we take latent fingerprints." And I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, "Do you know about the Libby and Abby case in Delphi?" He's like, "Sure do." And he said, "The crazy thing about that case is," he said, "my wife and I were the ones that take the prints. And he said, the crazy thing is they never turned prints." And I said, turned prints. What do you mean? He said, we never received any prints from Delphi. And he said, I said, oh, he said, he goes, normally we don't make a phone call, but he said, we waited 3 weeks after the girls were murdered, and we knew this was big. He said, so I actually picked up the phone and called Delphi and said, hey, we're waiting on prints. We haven't received any prints. And whoever it was he spoke to said, we don't have any. We don't have any to turn. So I found that really interesting because this guy, he and his wife were the lead fingerprint specialists for ISP at the time. Now, he probably wasn't supposed to be telling me this stuff because it was so soon after the murders, and probably wasn't thinking it was a kind of a big deal to share with me. And it, but nobody had any idea, that this case was going to grow into what it did. Oops, hang on, sorry. Oh, it's just my phone is saying it's getting low battery. I thought I had it plugged in, but I think when I unplugged the speaker over there, it unplugged my phone that was plugged in. So sorry about that. But yeah, so I guess the main thing that I'd like people to know is that Kay Weber is the most gracious person. She and I have become good friends, and she's gone well out of her way. Her and her husband have.
Yeah, actually, I just realized he just do that on purpose. Just ignore him. Obviously, he knows that I know, and obviously, he's just trying to be a jerk. So yeah, just ignore him. That's actually insulting Crime Night to say, "Oh, because it's an old video, it has no worth." No, 4 months old, and it has a lot of worth. It's very good, and this is the only video I've seen to know. But yeah, I don't know why am I feeding into? I need to shut up. He's doing it on purpose.
Just allowed so many people to come on their property to try to find a resolution, to try to solve this case. And she's not living there now. Now Brad and his new wife are. But I do know that she would accept the prayers from anybody. She's going through a little difficult time with some things in her family. So she's such a gem. I can't say enough good things about her.
Okay, that's all I really wanted to play on that. So no, okay, so Wolf, I'm gonna set out my link, but I want to ask you the comment you said. You said if it was an ejected one, no, but if it was a spent one or whatever you said, hold on, I started. How did you word it? If it was a spent round that had gone through the barrel of RA's gun, yes, but an ejected round. But not an ejector round. So do we know for sure what it was? It was a spent round for sure. And how do we I don't even know if we could trust this law enforcement. I don't know. I'm just down it. But you said, okay, do we know for sure though it was a spent one? Because I'm going to look this up. Let me share my link, but I'm going to look that up too as I'm waiting for people because I want to know how accurate that is. Because if there's some room for a lot of error, then even the freaking main piece of evidence is not even that good. All right, hold on. Let me invite. Well, I gotta bring up my YouTube side so I could pin it. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna share my link. Oh, why do I have that up? All right. Oh, 1 second, guys. Here I am. All right. Let me share it so anybody wants to join. Ashley, are you gonna come up right away? I only ask because I want to go get some coffee. So I want to have at least maybe hopefully a couple people come up so you guys could talk so I could leave and get my coffee. I just have to make a cup. But so I'm not leaving the chat completely dead, All right, hold on. Oh, there we go. Paste. Hold on. If you want to join panel, here's the link. Okay, so there it is. She's on the potty. Oh, okay. Okay, shoot. Wait, why won't that? Oh, there we go. Hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa! That keeps. It was weird. It kept popping up. All right, you guys, help me figure out a poll real quick so we can put a poll up too. But let me see, Wolf. What did you say? Or hold on. I heard it was just a bullet, not that was actually spent. But okay, so if it was just a bullet that was ejected, then how did they link it back to Richard's gun? What was the signature or whatever that they said linked to it if it was just ejected? Because I want to know that for sure before I start looking into it. Like, are we sure it was just ejected? Does it hold on, does it actually say it in the PCA? Hold on a second. The memorandum, but I'd rather go to the original affidavit just in case if, there was any exaggeration on their part. No, I get when you shoot a gun, there's a signature, but what we're trying to decide is however I totally get that, and I believe in that kind of stuff. If the gun was fired, like I feel like that's pretty they've been using that for in cases forever. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, there might even be some inaccuracies there. I don't know. I never looked into it, but I've always trusted that. But we're talking about something that wasn't fired. So that's why I don't know, is it as accurate? So we're trying to decide, is it spent or ejected what they have? The bullet that they found. Because it wasn't fired. I mean, we know that. Oh, so it was just ejected. Dude, I don't know. Let me look that up. I don't think that that's gonna be. Hold on. Yes, in the I'm gonna look at the PCA, but hold on a second. Hey, Petty. Ejecting on a gun marks just like it would if it went through the gun. They are specific to each gun. Yeah, I just want to actually look into it though myself. So eject or spent. Anybody have any ideas for a poll though? I should have written down when I to take polls on if you guys think it was Richard, like I think I've taken twice, I think I've done it on that, haven't I? Hold on, let me think of one before I look the other stuff. And I have if anybody wants to join, Ashley, come on up. Come on down. Wait, what's that show from? that game show. Price is Right? Yeah, Price is Right. And I think though we're gonna have to show faces because now we have that somebody that's messing with us. So I don't trust that person isn't gonna come up and ruin the live. So everybody that comes, you're just gonna have to backstage. You don't have to show it publicly, but you just have to show me just real quick, just show me your face backstage if you come up. Because I can't chance it. That person was really messing with us. Because even if we do kick him out, they could well, never mind. I'm gonna just shut up. Hi Pablo. Wait a minute. I have a snack box that from way back before the whole autopsy controversy stuff. Then that happened, and I never got to do it because that all happened, and I was like, and I thought they would have heard of it because I was like, they're not gonna want me to promote what they're doing. Look at all this crap, I'm being accused of, and freaking. So they reached out like a month later, and they're like, "Oh, have you done the video yet?" And I'm like, no, but haven't you?" I was like, "I didn't know if I should. Have you seen what have been going on?" And they were clueless. They still didn't even I still don't think they know. Which I guess is good, but I should do it. Hold on, let me go get it. I could do it while I'm waiting for people to come up. Hold on 1 second. And then I was saying you should come up. And nobody's gonna come up. Hold on, I'll be back. So if you come, oh, I gotta think of a. Here, let me just do the same pool. Do you think? Hold on, I'll do the Richard one and just see. I think the first time I think it was higher on Richard's guilt, right? And then I think the last one was like 55 or 58. I think it was more close. Remember? Because it was like, oh, it was in the like 50s again, like 59 or something. I could be wrong. I watch if I go back, watch. Whatever the last pull I did, which I don't know if it was on Richard Allen, it was in the 50s because I remember saying like, "Oh God, this is this is like close again." All right, let me just do you, and then I'll go get the snack box. Might as well. It's probably so stale because actually, this is the one where 2 of the bags opened up somewhere on shipping. So, oh, Marv, okay, hold on 1 second. Now, Ashley, you should come up so then you guys could talk while I go get a coffee. Hold on, guilty. Hold on 1 second. Let me finish this and then guilty, innocent. Hold on 1 second. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. All right, I'm gonna add you, but I'm gonna go get my snack box real quick. Do you wanna show your face? Okay. All right. Marv, what's up? How are
I'm good,
you?
girl. I got your back. Go get coffee.
Okay. Oh, well, I could get coffee too. I was gonna get the snack. That'll take like a couple. Yeah, you could just talk. Or you feel comfortable? You feel
I'll
okay to?
talk.
Okay, I'll be back.
You found it. I lost my soda and couldn't find it. All right. So, Delphi, what a disaster, right? Lately. I can't see comments right now. So, just bear with me. But I'll let her go get her coffee in her snack box. So, what I was saying in chat is the way that they have charged Richard Allen. All they have to prove is that he played even the smallest part in the girl's situation that day. He doesn't have to be the person that actually did the final act. He can be a lookout, he could be the guy on the bridge, you know, anything like that. And as long as he played a part in that with the felony murder charge, he would be guilty. Now, LE has been very suspicious lately, in my mind, with all this not giving out all the information, things like that. So it's hard to figure out what was said by law enforcement is correct and what isn't. That's my big question. And I'm not from Delphi, I'm from Wisconsin, so I am hoping that everything from now on gets televised with this case so that I could see it firsthand. I don't think law enforcement would arrest him if they only had the bullet. There's got to be more because they waited 6 years, over 6 years, to even arrest someone. I don't think they're going to arrest somebody just on a on a bullet. I think more was found at his house that we are not being told about. And that is why the defense wants that search warrant out. They want it thrown out so bad because something else was found at his house. What it is, I don't know. I don't know. But I can't wait to find out. Absolutely can't wait to find out. And like I said, I'm on my phone, so I can't see comments right now. Actually, let me. Oh, I did find them. Okay. So I'm just reading here. And I really can't wait to find out what happens tomorrow in that hearing. You've got 2 major leaks now that has supposedly come from the defense. The biggest thing we have to worry about right now, this moment, is whether the judge is going to throw both defense attorneys out. Is she going to take the case away from them? Because if she takes the case away from them, we have to start all over. And we're not going to get a trial until probably 2025. I mean, look at how long their defense team has been looking into evidence, trying to get discovery. They're saying they still don't have all the discovery, and we're supposed to have a trial in January? I don't see that happening. So, to me, that is the biggest thing right now. Is he going to keep his defense team? Or is he going to get a new defense team and we start all over? So, like I said, that is my biggest worry right now.
Wait, Marv, real quick. I gotta still get the snack box. What? Oh, hold on. Shoot, I have this in my ears and it's echoing.
all
Okay.
right.
Hold on one second so I could hear what you're saying. Do you want them to get kicked off or do you hope that
No,
they
I
stay?
do not.
Okay.
No, I do not want this to start all over.
Oh, we have a couple people. I'm going to add them. Hold on. We have Ashley. You're doing great, Marv. I was listening down there. I'm like, wow.
Oh, thanks. Well, I figured
Okay.
I would just yak on until you
No,
came back.
thank you. That helped me out. I'm going to go get the snack box and then I'll be right back. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley. Hey, Marv. Hey, Zav.
Hey, Anthony, how are you?
I'm
Hi,
doing
Ashley.
Ashley.
Anthony,
Yeah, I'm back now.
what do you guys think about what I just said as far as our biggest worry right now is whether Judge Gull is going to remove his 2 attorneys and we have to start all over?
Oh, that would suck, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, Marv, I'm pushing for that.
I know
Really?
you are. I know you are, but that means no trial until at least 2025.
You know what? I'm okay with that as long as it's done the right way and there's no more.
I agree, though. I do
I
agree. As long
agree
as
with
it's
you
done
there.
correctly, I'll wait as long as it takes.
You
I
know?
agree with you there. I want this done. I want all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed. And that's why I said on my channel, let them have the Franks hearing. Let them have it.
What do you mean? Let the defense have it?
Let the defense have the Franks hearing and throw their accusations out there. Let the prosecutor combat it and everything and let the judge decide. Because then nobody can come back later on and say, well, the judge never took our theories seriously. She wouldn't let them in and blah, 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 things like that. That's why I said in this case, we want this done right the first time and a jury to decide whether he's guilty or not.
You're right. You know, it does need to be done right the first time, and it needs to be, I mean, as professional as possible. This case is getting way out there when it comes to, you know, like all this speculation and stuff like that. I thought it was just going to be social media for the longest time. You know, people on the internet, Facebook and stuff like that, throwing just crazy theories out there. Now it's the defense team throwing out these wild, crazy theories that just blow my mind to the point, and just, it's almost like it's not even real. The stuff.
Okay, let's be serious and honest for a minute. I have heard of this Odinist thing long before the defense threw this out.
Yeah, but it's not what they're saying though,
No,
right?
no.
It's just, okay, yes, I heard of the Odinist thing, and Brad Holder.
Everybody's gone down that rabbit hole.
I agree. And I dismissed it. But we didn't have the evidence that we have now.
Right.
So, but it still doesn't change my mind. I don't think Brad Holder is responsible. I don't think that those people are responsible. But I find it, some of the circumstances, just can't explain them at all.
Right.
Like this Elvis dude, and
I'm gonna say, if you're an Odinist and you go there and you commit this horrific crime and you leave your signature there so that they come back and get you, you are one of the dumbest criminals I have ever seen.
which is why I think that Richard Allen did it, but he tried to make it look like it was something that it wasn't, right? But what reason would he have to try to make it look like it was Odinist unless he had some sort of an issue with somebody like that?
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Do we know if he has an issue with any other?
Don't know. Don't even know if there's any correlation between him and Brad or any of those people.
He is such a mystery, it's not even funny.
Oh, I know he is. I was listening to the Brad Westfall interviews, and he doesn't even know him. He's like, oh, I never. I mean, like a small town. You think they would have ran into each other or
Exactly.
something? And he said they were drinking at a bar that I guess they both drink at. Like, how don't?
Which is my uncle's bar.
It is.
Now, I can tell you, I live in a small town, and there's people in this town I do not know.
Okay.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I guess.
Same.
It's not hard not. Now, he worked in a very public place in that town, so you would think people would associate him with CVS, but not necessarily by his picture or by his name. It's just that person that works at CVS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. You know, I would say more people probably know him from the bar and the pool league, like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
actually know him.
yeah, right around the corner. So you got your hangout spots in Delphi, right? You got your older people that hang out at the McDonald's, which is right next to CVS in the morning time. Okay, like they all sit there and drink coffee and hang out. That's just the crowd. They walk back and forth to CVS all the time. So the older crowd would be the people that actually see him on a regular basis, right? Because they go to CVS. They're the ones that are getting the medicines and things like that. Okay, so they're the ones that are going to see him. Now, right around the corner from CVS, there you have the bar that he likes to hang out. Okay, so he could go from CVS 2 blocks down the road. He's at the bar after work, have a drink, whatever, play pool, and he lives 3 miles from downtown. So he's really not that far. He doesn't have to go very far in his life, his daily travels. Even the grocery store right next door to CVS doesn't have to go anywhere. So his traveling is limited throughout town, but I think that people would most likely know him from the bar. And then they would associate him, the guy that is at the bar works at CVS. You know what I mean?
Now, I got to say to Savannah, she says they only need reasonable doubt, and they have plenty of that between all of the theories out there. Yes, they have presented reasonable doubt in my mind that he is the one that is responsible for unaliving the girls. But they have not produced enough reasonable doubt in my mind for him not to have played a part in it. And then with felony murder, all he had to do was play a part.
And he
didn't have to be the one to actually do it, to be convicted of felony murder.
All they have to prove is he abducted him, kidnapped him.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're saying that there's no reasonable doubt because you believe that he's bridge guy? Is that what you're saying? So
I don't necessarily think that he's bridge guy, but I
Okay.
think that he was there and he was involved, whether
okay.
he was a lookout or something that played a part in those girls being forced from where they were, which is being kidnapped, and then going and being unalived.
Hmm.
Oh no!
Man,
I
why am
believe
I still like doubting like that maybe he left early, like he did really leave at like 1:30, but
I'm kind of doubting it
Yeah, but he
too.
couldn't have left at 1:30. He couldn't have left at 1:30 because he's on video surveillance arriving there at 1:27.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Showing
when
up.
is he on video leaving?
They didn't say if he's on video leaving, but it did say that he said he left at 3:30. Okay, but he's on video or he's seen by a witness at 3:57 on the road, walking back.
Where did I read that he said, hold on a second, what am I thinking of where it said he was there between 12:30 to 1:30? Which interview was that?
That's what the defense is saying. He's changing his story now through his
Oh, so
defense
now
team.
man, I think I'm like mixing up the God. Now I have like
It's confusing because it's all lies, and that's why it's so confusing to us. Is because these stories are not truthful, and it's hard to decipher like what's really going on when we're getting fed a bunch of bull. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I was there from 1:30 to 3:30. No, wait a minute, hold on, time out. Actually, you know what, dude? I was being threatened by Odinists in the middle of the woods at that time. So let me backtrack it. I was there from 11 to 2, and people are like, "Well, which one is it?"
So okay, Anthony, what about the clothes? So Abby was wearing Libby's jeans. Can you tell in those
I mean,
pictures? So what? That's weird, isn't it? She wasn't. She was wearing Libby's sweatshirt, not the one that she was seen in the picture, right? In the Snapchat picture, she's wearing something different, right?
Let's see, what color was their Snapchat pictures?
It was like
Yeah,
a.
something different. Yes.
How do
In
you
the
explain that?
Snapchat,
That's
he wore a gray
weird.
zip-up hoodie and a maroon shirt underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not really like you can tell. I don't want to describe too much of it. You can't really tell a lot about what's going on right there, except for the fact that she's covered up. There's sticks that cover them, but it doesn't look like it was placed there in the form of any kind of runes or anything like that. It does look like someone just deliberately put them over them to hide them, as what I've thought when I first looked at it. But it does. My weirdest thing with all this is the photographs are taken at nighttime, and they were found in daytime. Okay, so that's what I don't get. They don't look like police photos to me. I don't think. I don't understand that. I don't understand why the pictures are taken at nighttime and it's during the day that they were
That's
found. So
weird. Okay.
That's
I
why-
agree. That is strange.
that's where I've had an issue with it. And that's where I'm like, okay, listen, if these are real, then people are saying, yes, these are real, then who took those photographs? Because the girls were taken, their bodies were moved out of there before dark. Okay. That means to me, this is why I tipped this into the state police, because to me, whoever took those photographs was the killer or someone that saw those bodies in the middle of the night, because they were found at noon the next day. If any one of the searchers saw the bodies and took a picture,
that is holy crap.
that's what I think. That's my opinion. I mean, that's my opinion on it.
And we know they were removed from those woods before that night.
We know that 100%.
100%.
What the heck? And you could tell that it was night. Like how you could tell it was night.
Oh,
Like
it's
it was
pitch black. Okay, do you remember the F picture that's been shown? The tree?
Tree?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Just as dark as that.
I don't wait, I don't remember it being dark for that. Is that was
So
dark?
if you look at the edges of the tree where there's no tree around it, it's pitch black, which means it was taken at night.
Oh, hold on. Why didn't I even notice that it was at night? I noticed. I thought it looked more like dawn. Like it was.
Everybody's focusing on the F part. They're not
here.
You know.
So, okay. So, but you could tell that it was the pictures weren't like they weren't in the like where they were doing the autopsy, or they weren't like
No,
after they were moved
no,
somewhere, they were outside.
no.
You're saying for sure. Oh yeah, because you saw the stick. Never mind. That's a stupid question. The sticks. Blonde moment there. Sorry. That doesn't even. Dude.
See, that's where it's questionable. That's
But
where
you
I
think they're real though? Their nose aren't photoshopped, right? Like they aren't like fake pictures, right?
no, they're not fake.
Because people are. I don't know why people keep saying that. Like, oh, they're edited or whatever.
Well,
It's
okay,
like,
I can see why people would say those things, but I don't think those people have seen them.
okay. Let me look
I
at the tree.
think that if you see them, you would definitely. The first thing you think is, well, okay, this is the first thing you're going to do when you look at it. You kind of turn your head and then you look at it like, wait a minute, because you're trying to understand exactly what you're looking at, and you're looking at photographs of photographs, if that makes sense. You're looking at a picture of a picture. Okay. All right. You see it's dark outside.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't even notice that before. Like how
Well,
dark
that's a
it
flash taken on a
was.
tree. Someone took that with a flash, right, on their camera.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Let me find. Hold on. I have a.
Almost
where's
like
that zoomed
someone
in?
snuck through and took the pictures of the bodies during the nighttime. Like that's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Didn't
really
law
weird. That means that.
Law enforcement says in their investigation that they believe the killer likely may have photographed or filmed the crime scene.
You're right.
Yes,
Yeah, you are right.
That was a tip that Curtis Smithley sent in 2017 when he asked me to get a hold of the sheriff. He came on my show and talked about it. He submitted a tip that said, I think the bridge guy has a hat or a camera right here on his hat.
So the only thing that would make sense, but it would make sense, but let's say it did get leaked from the defense, and that would mean that the state or that they found those in Richard's
They would have
camera.
recovered it from Richard.
Yeah, and then why that would make them 100% guilty. And
Yeah.
why, like, so either that or they really didn't get leaked from that. We'll find out tomorrow, right? If they got leaked from like something else.
I don't know if we'll find out.
Because if they didn't really, okay, if they came from the defense, that would like.
Then that means that they have evidence that he took photographs of the crime scene.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that would make them 100% guilty.
Exactly. And these are things that we probably don't know. Remember how Marv said there's things that we don't know that linked him that we don't know?
Yeah, that's what I'm
This
saying.
may be the thing.
If that's the thing, then and then they're trying to just throw it. They're trying to be desperate when coming out with that memorandum because they know that they freaking have this smoking gun. I mean, that would be like a huge thing, but I don't know, dude. Wow.
Crazy.
Wow. Dang. I mean, there's no doubt in your mind that it's definitely at night. You're saying there's no other like any kind of like camera like lighting.
Okay, look, I don't even think they don't look like professional photos to me.
Oh, so that even like the
I don't think they're professional
This is just
photos.
too
I don't
weird.
know. Some people said that they think that they are. I don't think that they're professional photos at all.
Now that this man, I don't even know what to think now. Ashley, what are you thinking?
It's hard to know what to think.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's really sketchy though that these are at night, like you guys are. That's kind of weird. It's either like somebody either A, stumbled upon the bodies, or like you guys said, that it was the murderer who took the pictures. But I don't know. I'm also kind of probably going to be one of the few people who would maybe say this. But what if these pictures were like passed around a little bit, like in within a group of people or something? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, like the dark web sort of, or not even the dark web, but yeah, exactly. Like somebody who like is really into like maybe like those, what are the movies called? They're like real killings. I forget.
Snuff films.
Oh yeah.
Snuff films. Thank you. Kind of like snuff films, but like pictures. I feel like maybe I don't know though. Who knows? People.
But where did they get leaked from? That's what I want to know. Did they really get leaked from the defense,
I don't know.
Maybe is that from somewhere else? And like tomorrow, it has to come out because in what they're going to discuss, if they're going to get rid of because if it's not them that leaked it or not anybody that worked for them, then why would they even be reprimand? It would be fine.
Well,
so they should be able to trace it back, right?
Do we not find it odd that all the weird things that happen in this case? Okay, so every time something comes out, all of a sudden the person ends up dead.
Who else? Wait, remind me who else though.
Okay, so Elvis's sister is what, burn up in a fire or something
Oh,
like
that's
that?
right. Yeah, and then the
Okay.
girl that does Stephanie, and then
The
that was
polygraph
Flora,
people
but
and all that stuff, like
and then
the
somebody else.
FBI agent gets arrested for being
Yes.
associated with Larry Nassar's thing.
Well, then you got
That he
the
killed.
initial police officer that supposedly committed suicide.
Oh,
Yeah. Dude, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, this case is like so crazy. Like, anytime someone pops up and is like, guess what? I'm a witness and I have this. All of a sudden, next week, it's like, oh, unexpected death. They're gone.
Yeah,
What?
that's crazy.
yeah, because wait, okay, so what if they can't even know for sure because that guy's the person that initiated it, right? Is he's
Exactly.
so maybe they're not even going to be able to tell us for sure where it got leaked then.
Doesn't it
Dude,
just
this
Yeah,
is
I mean,
weird.
alive himself.
It's like Final Destination.
But
That's
Anthony,
kinda
with that
true.
being said, doesn't that make you doubt like Richard then because of all this weird stuff?
No, I think that it's all look. I don't know, dude. If it comes down to it, I think it was all a big ploy to protect him from the inside government. I don't know, dude. It sounds like conspiracy theory, but what else is new?
Conspiracy theories are sometimes true, though, Anthony.
Yeah, I
Oh, there are a
know.
lot of times they're true. Actually,
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. They did
I'm
like a yeah. There's a lot of ones that are true, but there are a lot of crazy ones too. But
Too crazy to be real.
man, I don't even know. That just like
Yeah.
what you just said about it being at night though too. It's just
Yeah, that just.
I feel like I gotta like absorb that and think about that because that just like my whole thought process of everything is just changed now. If that's true.
Oh no.
You're muted,
Oh
Anthony.
my lord. What do you guys think on chat? What is chat saying? Let's see.
I know. I was reading Relic.
Oh,
Robo.
sorry.
Asshole.
So okay, so tomorrow what at 2, and they said expected around 2:30 because they're not letting them live stream. They have to wait. So law and crime
30-minute delay.
yeah, 30-minute delay. So at 2:30 they should they were because they said no live streaming. So they're I was reading the documents today about that. So yeah, 2:30.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get someone live there on panel. Someone there and actually get us tell us what's in the courtroom.
Oh, it ain't gonna be me.
Yeah, well, it ain't gonna be me either. I think it's do we know if Noe's going?
Wait, you mean somebody's gonna break the rules?
No.
Wait, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying. Like somebody's
Yeah, we're
gonna do
gonna
it
send
too?
someone in to break the rules live.
Live.
Watch them get arrested. Okay. No.
That's some bullshit.
we're trying to send someone inside the jail with Richard Allen.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now to
Oh.
send out like what's going on.
Yeah, to tell us what's going on live.
They will. There's people that actually they're allowed to do that, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
people do that all the time when they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, they can go outside and report all they want, basically.
Yeah. What is that noise, guys? Do you guys hear that?
It's probably my furnace. That's probably what it is.
Oh,
it
it sounds like
squeaking?
yeah.
Yeah, it stopped when she did that.
Yeah, I figured.
Wait, you have to live with that? Like that's all the time? Ashley?
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
You just
I'm
get
kinda
used to it.
All right, hey.
Yeah, I'm pretty used
listen,
to it
I
now.
gotta jump off here. So I had a stream set for 7:30. I'll jump back on
it's
here
10:30.
if you're gonna be here for a while. Well, it's
Okay.
7:30 my time. So
Oh, I
Gotcha.
forgot, dude. It's still early there. I like
yeah.
your background with the
wood?
it's nothing, but it's just natural. I actually like it.
Got a green screen for once. I'm gonna jump over to my channel and talk to my people for a little bit, but I'll be back on here if you're still on here.
Okay, cool. Thank you for coming
All
up.
right.
Thanks.
Bye,
Later,
Anthony.
guys.
Now that you just like
Bye.
drop a big bombshell here that we gotta think
Yeah,
about.
now have fun deciphering that for the next 3 days. Later.
Yeah, bye. Gosh, now I feel like I don't know, guys. So what do you
I'm
don't
so confused and frustrated, and on this case, it's not even funny.
I know. I don't
It's like you just wrap your mind around one thing and then another
Yes.
thing breaks.
yeah.
You just wrap your mind around that and then another bomb blows. I'm just like, I don't know.
It's true. So wait, Katie says the girls were found in the afternoon. The sun starts to go down at 5:15 in February. In that part of the Midwest, sunset in Delphi that day was 6:30. I'm guessing the pics were taken 2:14. So what? I don't understand. So are you saying that they should have been light because you think they would have taken the pictures like pretty soon after they found them, right?
Almost immediately after they found them, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing you do besides checking for
before you
light.
touch anything,
Right.
take pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't touch. Yeah, you're right. They want to make sure before anything gets touched or
Before
moved.
anything
Yeah.
gets moved or touched or whatever, they should be taking pictures.
Somebody said look up in chat. Hold on, let me see. I wonder what kind of record CVS is like when the photo matches were being used after out. Wait, what kind of records CVS has after like when photo matches were being used after hours? Maybe.
Oh,
Wait, what does that mean? Wait, explain. Why am I not following that?
So Richard Allen used to work at CVS.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that actually developed the photos for the posters, I think it was, for Abby and Libby.
Yeah.
But I think what they mean is like see the pictures like that he maybe developed after hours.
Oh.
Maybe he developed any photos of any.
Oh shoot.
That's my guess. I don't know if that's what they mean, but I'm just
Kind
assuming.
of how I took it too.
Yeah.
It was found at 11 daylight. Wait, it says, well, someone's lying now. Maybe they found the girls that night. Or they was found at 11 daylight some. So wait, how do we know? So you're 100% sure that they wouldn't have kept them out there overnight. They would have taken them. But do you know, did it take hours before they moved them? It was before it started getting dark. You guys know that for sure. And
Right.
said, yeah, right? Okay. Because 12, that'd be.
Because you got to remember when Becky found out, which was shortly after noon, 12:30, she saw the coroner van already rolling in.
Okay.
And that's how she
Yeah.
knew that they were gone. Even though somebody said, I'm so sorry to her. That's how she knew they weren't alive. And it's not going to take them, 6.5 hours, I wouldn't think.
No, maybe not that long, but sometimes it does take a while.
I agree.
Yeah, even just with my grandma dying, it took, and she was in a nursing home. It took like 3 hours for the coroner. So it was like, dang, man. So I can only imagine.
For the coroner to get there or for what? To them?
To do everything he's got to do and then take them.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got to remember, he can't. Yeah, the coroner can't just go and get the bodies because, like we said before, they have to take pictures. They have to look at this. They have to look at that. They have to do a lot of stuff before they can actually remove the girls out of there. So I'm figuring probably about 4. I wouldn't be surprised if it was less than 4 hours and maybe even a little bit more than 4 hours. But it was still light out.
Yeah.
Right.
They took them out.
Yeah, I can't see it still being like nighttime. I can't imagine that.
No.
Well,
and you would think all of their pictures would have been done long before that because that's one of the very first things they do before anything gets disturbed in the scene.
But I was wondering, like, okay, maybe they weren't the official pictures, but maybe somebody else took them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was there at the crime scene, or maybe somebody else took them. That's what I'm trying to figure out. When did they actually take the bodies? Because could it have been a night before they took them?
Yeah.
Because the other option is just the other 2 options. Either Richard they finded him on Richard, which actually would be good because that would be like, okay, for sure, justice. We know we got the right guy.
The nail in the coffin, yeah.
But then the other one is like it didn't come from that, and somebody's passing it around, and the killer's out there. That would be the scariest alternative, or the scariest thing. I would say that they came from somewhere, and they don't know where they came from. The pictures, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but think about it this way: you have had a man that's been in jail for a year now. If you were the one that did this, would you really share those pictures now and put yourself in jeopardy?
Honestly,
Or-
maybe because he feels like he could get away with it now because somebody's about to go down to the
Bragging.
crimes. So maybe
Yeah,
right now
maybe,
would be the perfect time to share that. I don't know though.
That's a good point, Ashley. I
Yeah.
never thought of that.
That is a good point.
If it was me, though, I'd be like, let him fry.
No, I would never share it. I feel
Or
like
what if he had shared him prior a long time ago, and then that person just happened to share him
just-
later,
yeah,
you
maybe.
know?
That could be too. That could be. I don't know.
Either way, I
Yeah.
feel like you're dumb for taking it anyways, but that's just
So
me.
let's go on to the try to get away from that topic because wow, that's crazy. But actually, kind of still same topic about the sticks. Now you saw the diagrams, right, Marvin, Ashley? Do you think that's just somebody throwing them on there to cover up the bodies?
Absolutely not. There's no way if you throw it that they're going to end up in almost the exact same position. No way.
If
No,
they
I think
all
they're
like
intentionally there.
true
Sorry.
crime TV depicted them, I would say absolutely not. But now I have not seen these pictures yet. I have not gotten copies of them. But from the people that have seen them, that have described them to me, it wasn't exactly like what they were showing on that Law and Order Network
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, in crime, yeah, it
Law
wasn't.
and Order made it so neat and nice, and everybody I talked to said it was not neat and nice like that. So it's without seeing those pictures, it's hard to even say.
That's true, yeah.
Well, you saw. I'll saying you weren't here when I showed the one guy that drew the thing. So there was two people. There's probably is more. I just saw two. I saw a screenshot of somebody. I don't mention his name, but he did like more 3D version of it. And then I saw the one video I actually watched him describing it was that Delphi After Dark or whatever. I think that's what his name is, Rick or something.
Yeah,
And
I haven't seen his video yet.
Well, he drew he drew like stick figures of it, and it matched up with the other one. So I think it's probably the way it was because they both, I think they actually hate each other, the two. So, and they both like drew like basically the same placement of the sticks. So I trust that's probably what because they both saw it. So I trust that that's probably where they are. Now the drawing is not, it's just not like a piece of art or anything, but he just kind of like drew. It does the trick. It does the job of what you want to see with the sticks. Hold on, let me bring it up.
Okay.
Where I mean, it almost looks like they're trying to make both of them the same. I mean, they're a little bit different, but it's almost like they were trying to.
Yeah, exactly.
They're very similar. So
Exactly.
here, I'll show you what I mean. Now I know it's kind of a mess, but I would watch that, Marv and Ashley. He goes and describes it, and
I will. I'll watch it tomorrow.
I will too.
But so they both had like a big branch, they said, like a big, pretty big one, like right there. And then like they both had the stick that crossed. He said Libby's was up higher and Abby's was lower. And you see they both had one here too.
It weirdly almost looks like Chinese lettering.
Yeah. Now, the thing is with this, he was saying how like they just branch off. So when you see those branches and they just so I don't know if this is necessarily means anything because I think that's just the way the stick was made. They didn't place that right there. It was just the whole stick. Yeah. Same with this one, I think. So that's another reason I'm like, is it just random? I don't know. Or were they trying to make it look like something? Now, Patrick Westfall looked at this and he said that none of them look like runes to him. He said he looked at it. I mean, if you trust what he says. I watched both of his interviews with Sleuth Intuition, and he showed him this, and he's like, the only thing that kind of looks like a rune is one of them. If you like which one? You make it upside down and then you invert it, and it kind of looks like the F with I forget what you call that one, the one with the downward.
Yeah, I guess looking at this to me would be more like crosses and would go with the more non-secular thing that Robert Ives had said, because it looks like crosses were they were trying to make crosses and then just hit other sticks in there. I don't know.
That's maybe. I've been wanting to watch Robert Ives again. Thank you
Well,
for
because
reminding me that.
he said
Watching
non-secular
his
in his video, which means religious, and I guess the runes part would be religious, but to me, because I'm not an Odinist, I more see the crosses being the prominent on each figure.
Yeah, it would be 2 crosses, on each. And it could be
One is just got the T up higher, and one is more down in the middle.
Ashley, what do you think about that? So,
I feel like if they were trying to make crosses, they could have made them look a lot more like crosses.
Yeah.
I feel like this was more intentional.
Okay.
But I mean, could the cross
Whoa.
be part of
That's really loud. Now go ahead.
Chipmunk.
Wow. Why does that's weird how it gets louder sometimes. What were you saying, Marv?
I was going to say it almost looks like what is supposed to be a T or a cross, and maybe it's just because of the way it's drawn and it's more prominent. But just looking at the other sticks, almost like those two are supposed to be the focal point, and then maybe the other sticks coming off are supposed to be something, but I can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And what about like the body positioning? Like, do you think the leg? You know how people were talking about what is that called? Where the painting?
No, the leg being bent on Abby, that is weird.
Yeah.
That is very weird. Especially since I saw that tarot card of that in that position. I'm like, okay, that's really weird.
Wait, does a tarot card? What about the arms? Have you seen anything like that? Like it's.
No, I haven't. The arms is weird, and the leg on Abby is weird.
What about Libby with her arm up, with the tree holding it? They said with her the tree. That's kind of.
Yeah, that's strange to me.
What is that? Do you think she? I mean, was it placed or was it?
Isn't as weird as. I mean, anybody could be. They said they were moved and staged, right? So if they moved them and her arm landed back, it could just be a coincidence, or they could have put it there. But to me, that's not a big sign or anything. But Abby's leg being bent that way and then her arms, that is not natural. That is definitely staged.
Yeah. So it's weird. What about the whole Elvis thing about him telling his sister? Like, I mean, in her passing a polygraph. Like, what? I don't understand that.
I don't
either. Both sisters said he told them.
Right.
One's dead.
There was more than one person, so.
So it's like, did Richard have help from Elvis? Is there any connection with Elvis and Richard? And then what about Amber Holder saying that about Patrick, about Brad telling her about Patrick? Now, when I watched Patrick's interviews, I didn't feel like it seemed like he was being honest, but like, you don't know. Sometimes if people are good liars, I don't know. I mean, I could be.
Look at Chris Watts.
Yeah.
He stood there and lied right to the camera. So somebody could do that. I mean, if they're that type of person, that's natural for them. And we just think they're being sincere.
Yeah.
But
yeah. What have you guys watched those interviews with Patrick?
No, that is on my playlist. I watch a lot of things during the day while I work.
Okay.
From home. So that is on my playlist to watch also.
I'd recommend it. Actually, so he explains, they ask him about the issue with what happened to him and Brad. Like, why did they, Amber says that you guys had this big fight. What was the issue? What happened? And he says that they did have a fight. But what happened was he said he found out that Brad was going to church on Sundays, Christian. And then he says he's coming to my house playing Asatru. He's like, I don't know. You don't do that. You commit to one or the other. You can't like have your feet in both. Like, no, like you either
So
are
he was
all in
going,
or you're all in or
he
you're
was
out.
playing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde,
Yeah.
where he was being a Christian with his family and stuff, and then doing the Odinism stuff.
Yes. And so Brad kicked him out. He's
Oh.
like, he goes, you choose. He said, you either all in or you're out. And Brad said, well, I'm out then. And that's Brad's story of what broke him up, but I don't know.
Wow.
So, but it is kind of a coincidence. It happened right around that time of this. And then like,
Yeah.
there are some things I picked up on, like where he'll say things like, oh, back then, like he's talking about back at the time of the murders, like, and it's
Right.
stupid little stuff, but he'll be like, I couldn't grow a full beard or something. Like he remembers these details, and you would think like, how do you remember, almost 7 years ago, like these little details about that time period, unless if it's significant that you
I wouldn't.
remembered something about a beard because there's, you know what I'm saying? There was some kind of significance, but there's a few
Well, if
things
there
that he
was some
said.
kind of medical issue, then I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't remember it.
Although that might be something that's kind of that he remembers, maybe he got picked on for it or something, so it's
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, remembers that
bet
it
he
was back
did.
in February 2017 that he couldn't grow a beard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of a weird thing that wouldn't be
there's
my
a-
first thought.
yeah, and there's a couple things like that where I was like, wait, that's kind of weird that you remember that, but it could be
Well,
nothing. It could be innocent, really.
Didn't the guy on Sleuth's channel that did the interview say that Holder's son didn't even know Abby except for online, and we know that's not true.
Here's the thing. I think what Brad was talking about, not Brad, Patrick was talking about at first. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. No, I have a pic. I just showed a picture of them two together. And I was like, no, but I think what he was talking about is because he goes on to explain how like they'll talk online and people see each other in person. They don't know what to say. So I think he was just saying like, that's when they do most of their talking. So when they're together, it's like, you know what I'm saying? They really don't talk
Okay.
much when they're together. I don't know. I could be wrong, but when he gave the example like a little bit later about his kids and stuff, I was like, oh, maybe that's what he meant. Because I was like, I know they met each other. No, they didn't they met each other in person. I have a picture, but he did. I mean, I could see how you could think that's what he was saying, but I'm not 100% sure if he just meant kids these days. They only really talk online. Like their only relationships online, and then in person, they don't really.
True.
Yeah. So, but what else? I'm trying to think. There's a couple other things I wanted to point out on that. I'm going to watch it again, but most of it, actually watching again, I might pick up on more things, but there was only a few because there's two interviews. There's one that it's just over the phone, and then there's one in person, like video, where
Right.
like what we're doing. And so he goes on to say, like, he asks him, like, are you guys like racist? And he says, no, we're nationalists. But then he goes on to say how, like, there's no blacks. So you have to be European to be in there. And then also you can't date like another race. So I'm thinking like, wait, you just said like, it's not a racist thing, but that kind of sounds like it if you look at it like that, right? Or no?
I mean, I guess everyone has a preference. Some people just choose to date a certain race. But maybe
But he's saying to be in that
like
group.
that verbiage kind of sounds racist.
Yeah, he's saying you can't be a member if you're.
That does kind of sound more on the racist side.
I mean, I get the nationalists, like him talking about, like, they want American made stuff, and I get all that, but I don't know. I feel like he was downplaying the racist part of it all, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, I definitely see it as being racist. I know everyone has their preferences, and some people do choose to only date certain races, their own or other, but yeah, that's pretty racist.
But yeah, the fact that, you can't be a member if you do, and you can't be a member if you're black, if you're a different race. So But um I'm trying to think what else that sticks out from what he said. Here's another thing though that makes me think maybe not them, because they talk about like all their rituals are and all their stuff's done at night. Well, this would have been done in the day, the killing,
Right.
so that wouldn't go along with how they do it. What else? I don't know. What else do you guys want to discuss? I had some questions for Anthony, but I forgot to ask. Well, I did ask about Libby's jeans. Okay. I forgot to ask about the carved stick. He did answer that in chat. Remember how the defense said, "Oh, it looked like it was like like they actually like cut it." No, cut it. It was
Oh,
cut.
cut it with a power
Yeah.
or electric saw.
He said you couldn't really tell if it was just like ripped or cut, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe he didn't see all the ends of it when the pictures. What else? Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. Maybe you guys know. So I remember back like years ago. That's weird to say that years ago because it's such an old case.
Oh no.
That you heard about like Libby's phone was pinged all around town. Do you guys remember that? When
Yep.
what
Yeah.
what do you guys make out of that?
So there's only 2 towers in Delphi, and so when you're at the creek there, depending on where you're at, you're going to ping off of both towers.
Okay. So that means
I
nothing,
think that
basically.
I think that was just somebody, I think Mike was just frustrated when he said there were things her phone's pinging all over town. Well, not necessarily
Uh,
all over town, but in that area where you're transferring from one tower to another, it's gonna look like it, you know.
yeah. Okay. So that's nothing then, probably. Okay.
No, I've never thought anything of that, especially once I found out there was only 2 towers and you could go 100 feet and ping off of both of them. So,
But if they were just in that spot the whole time, would it go from tower to tower though? That'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it?
but we don't know what he meant by when it was pinging
Okay.
all over town. You know what I mean?
Uh, hmm.
And I swear the police said at like 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, her phone pinged from in the area they were found,
Wow.
somewhere out in there. So,
Wow. Crazy. Man. What else? I think what else I wanted to. Yeah. Did you hear anything about Brad Weber? Do you know anything about him? The son of Kay Weber?
so I've heard many things about him. I heard he does not like people on his property. I'm thinking he was gone the day I was on his property. I didn't have no issues.
Okay.
So, but there have been people that have had a lot of issues with him. Um, being over on the south side, he'll make it known that you are not welcome there.
So, what does he look like? You know?
Oh my god, I saw a couple pictures of him. Dark hair. Go online and Google Brad Weber,
Oh,
Delphi.
okay.
There's got to be hits.
So there's no, he doesn't look anything like Bridge Guy.
Well, I don't know.
Let me look.
I mean, there's so many people who have looked like Bridge Guy. Really, I mean,
That's true, and that's true though. I mean,
well, I know that he had an issue with his foot, and I believe he had a toe amputated. So
what?
we did look at him for a little while because of the way he would have walked on the bridge.
Whoa.
He was at one time a person of interest on my list,
Uh,
but got
okay.
crossed off.
And then now finding out from that video that he had a 40 caliber Sig Sauer. I want to look more into
Yeah.
the ejected versus. So you're saying that that's pretty accurate information as far as.
So the actual ejector that holds the bullet, right? That's going to leave specific marks because you have the prongs that hold it in place before it gets fired. That I think is what they're using. And
Okay.
from what I'm understanding, those are specific to each gun, just like when a bullet is fired and it goes through the barrel, it gets the grooves on it and everything. Those are specific to each gun. And
Okay.
that's
So.
why they're saying this is not junk science,
Okay.
is
Well,
because each ejector leaves specific marks on an unspent bullet that has not been fired.
yeah, and I guess if they did take Brad's gun, Brad Weber now I'm talking about, because Julie said that they had it for months or whatever. So if they did take it, that's probably what they were trying to look to see if it matched, right? So they must
Right.
not have found a match with it.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Up until they've actually looked at a lot of guns, I'm sure, from different
Yeah.
people in that area. And that's exactly what they were doing, is trying to match that up to those marks on that unspent bullet. And nothing matched until all of a sudden here comes Richard Allen, and they test his gun and it matches.
Oh, well. I guess we'll see. So,
But I believe they have more on him than just the bullet. I don't see law enforcement waiting 6 years and arresting someone just because of a bullet.
I hope not. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that that's all they're gonna have.
I don't think so. They have been so tight to the vest on everything.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to do that and put everything, all their eggs in one basket on a bullet. I just don't.
I
That's
hope
why
not, but
that
why
that's
am
why I
I
think
like
they found something else.
why do I feel like that I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I hope you're right. I hope you're right because they better. I mean, you waited, by that time it'll be almost 7 years. Like if they even have it
Mhm.
in January. Now with this leak, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I know tomorrow's going to tell us a lot of things.
Yeah, so I might. Oh, where did Ashley? I just saw that she's not there. Okay. Ashley, I might end this here and go. So is Anthony live right now?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think he said he was going live.
Oh, yeah, he's live. All right, I might go over there, say hi. I don't even know what else to say now. I feel like my mind just kind of got like thrown into like this whole thing that he said, and I can't even
I know.
really. Oh, that's just so weird. I want to see that. I want to see the pictures because I'm like in doubt that how could they be at night? That's just.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I want to see the pictures for myself because of I know the way that I pay attention to detail, and I
Yeah.
can't just go off of something that somebody's described. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. No,
Because
I
I mean, you and I can both look at something that is exactly the same and describe it differently.
mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. So
So,
I would like to see it myself too now that, yeah. But I don't know. Like, are they, well, yeah, I guess people, I would feel Man, Murder Sheets is really making I feel like people feel like they're a piece of crap if they wanna see it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
from stuff I've
I'm
heard them
interested
say,
in
but
it
I don't
too.
know. Like, I hope they understand that some people just they're, like, very invested in cases, and it doesn't make you, like, this weird person for wanting to know every detail and, like, be able to see things with your own eyes, like you said, Marv, because you wanna understand the case and understand
Yeah.
everything. But I don't know. I feel like
I'll be right back.
I don't know. I didn't listen to their video. I just heard little quotes here and there, but maybe they're just talking
Yeah,
about sharing it publicly.
I listened to it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They don't want anybody talking and giving any descriptions of them or sharing them or anything.
But they got him, right? How did
Yep.
why did they accept him? If they don't want because they are
Good
cute. They want to
question.
know too because I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't know him. I don't have anything against him, but I just feel like yeah, I heard stuff like that. I was like, man, it makes me feel bad because I do
It's
actually want to see him and
it's human nature to be curious.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
would I ever share them? No, absolutely not. You know, I was ticked off that the pictures of the clothes and the shoe in the creek got out.
Oh yeah.
We went on a rampage about that.
Oh,
You know, and I'm like, this channel will not show that. Oh yeah, I was not happy that that even came out.
well,
So, well,
all right. Well, thanks for coming on. It was nice talking to you. I'm glad
yeah,
you came up. You saved the day here with my coffee. I don't think yeah, I have these snacks. I'm gonna do that another time. I feel bad because Anthony's live and I've already been live for what two he said he had his for 7:30, so he pushed it back a little bit, it looks like. So yeah, I'll probably go over there and chat a little bit. But hold on, I wanted to say something. Oh yeah, tomorrow. I think I'm sure a lot of people are live streaming. I don't know if you are too, but I'm gonna live stream
I'm
the
gonna try. Yep.
yeah, so at 2:30.
Yeah.
I'll probably come on at like 2 guys. If you guys um want to come, I'll watch it with me. How long do you think it'll be? It'll probably be really quick, huh? Well,
Nothing
maybe
with that is
not.
ever quick.
Yeah, never mind actually. That might not be that quick.
That's what, I mean, the last time we thought it was just going to be a couple hours in the morning, and it ended up all day. So
Oh,
who knows?
really? Wait,
Yeah,
which one? What are you talking about? I
the
didn't
last
see that.
hearing, the last hearing they had,
Wow, I didn't must not have seen it. Okay. Well,
we thought,
shoot.
oh, it's just going
I
to be
hope
an hour
it's
or
not
two,
on.
and it ended up being all day long.
Man, I hope it's not actually.
Depends on what the judge has to say.
Wow.
It could be
Okay.
very quick. It could be very quick. She could admonish them and tell them not to let it happen again. She could dismiss them as his attorneys and say new attorneys will be appointed to you. I mean,
Wait, is this that's all it is about is this, right? The leaked photos?
that's what I got because
Okay.
isn't there another hearing on the 31st about everything else?
Oh yeah, the 30. That's right. Cause I remember thinking like it's Halloween. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, there is. Yep. Okay. So I don't think I bet you it'll be quick, but I don't want to jinx myself. I'm gonna knock on wood because
I know.
all right. Well, thanks for coming. I'll have to come over. Look at this, my green screen. I'll have to come over to your channel though and check it out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Ashley, are you still here?
Thanks for having me. I'll see
Yeah.
y'all later.
Thank you so much for coming. Are you gonna go over to Anthony's?
No, actually I'm gonna be heading to bed here shortly,
Okay.
because I gotta work early in the morning, so
Aw, well, thanks for spending this time with me and us. That
you're
was
welcome.
nice. All right. Well, thank you. I'll see you sometime soon,
Bye.
hopefully. Okay, bye. Um, Ashley, where are you, buddy? I want to say bye to you. Mamma mia! I'll look at chat for a little bit. Patronus. Digital. Why do I always feel bad, like, if somebody else that I know is live when I'm live. I'm always like, I feel, like, guilty. But I guess I can't who was it? There was one, when I was covering, what case was it? I think it was it Dylan around? When I was covering one of the cases, I used to always go live at, like, 8 or 9. And I don't remember what case it was, but there was a channel that I must have been friends with or something, and then they were going live with the same case, like, every night at, like, 8 or 9. So, like, felt bad for doing it at the same time, so I started I think was that when I started going early? I think I tried to do it earlier. Yeah, I started doing it earlier because I didn't wanna go at the same time, but then I remember thinking, "Man, I can't, like, do that." You know what I'm saying? You can't, like, schedule because there's so many people that go live every day, so you just have to go. But I still do feel bad when it's somebody that I know and that supports me, you know? Um, so anyway, I don't know where Ashley is. I'm waiting to tell her. Hi. Here, I'll chat with some of you guys. Saying, hey, Soul, thanks for you're gifting all these memberships. Thank you. Once Carter is on board, I will be. Wait, what do you mean, Tuesday? Wait, once Carter is on board? On board with what? I was saying, what should I do though? If she's going to the bathroom, I'm trying to end it. I should just do my snack. Here, like, here's my snack. Hold on. I could do some of it. But here's the thing though, since I got this, I should do it when I could do all of it. Wait, am I glowing? Like, I don't know. Oh, thanks, Marv. Yeah, thank you for coming.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, actually, I didn't want to just end it with you not knowing what was going on.
Oh my god.
I was gonna end it, and then I was like, wait, let me get hold on, guys. Let me see something real quick. I just don't know. The thing is I don't really know what else to say about the case now. Like, I feel like I had, like, a game plan on stuff I wanted, like, my thought process, but after finding out about those pictures being at night, it just, like, I don't know why it just made me have to rethink everything.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's kind of the same with me as well.
I need to see them myself now because that's a huge thing if that's true. And I need to, like, actually be able to see it with my eyes and be like, okay, yes, that they're at night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
not that I don't trust Anthony, but like Marv was saying, everybody sees things different. So, like, what if I don't know? I have to see it.
That's how I feel too. I want to go by my own eye.
Yeah. You'll talk Tuesday? What do you mean I'll talk? Stay on, I'll talk? Well, oh my god, this is all melty. If I stay on, I might just do these snacks. Dorina?
Ooh, those look good.
Dorina? Animal Kingdom? Oh, wait. What country is this from? This is from Serbia and Croatia. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, let's just do this real quick. Because like I said, I was going to end it because I didn't have anything else to say, really. Plus, and then Anthony was on. But since I'm not talking about Delphi, if people want to talk about it, then wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. I wish you had this to try it. Wait, where's the?
Cool.
Oh, here's because they give you facts or fast facts. I know bellyache. What can we? Oh my God, Tutti Frutti! I love these type of things.
Yes, me too. Tutti Frutti, like, it's always been my favorite since I was little.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What? I'm trying to think of what case besides Delphi. What was I just watching that we could talk about while we're? Hold on. Is there a trial or something?
There's a couple going on right now, but there's the boy in the box trial.
Yeah, I watched some of that, not all of it.
Yeah, same here.
I talked about that a little bit on the drive home. What do you think about? Have you guys watched The Boy in the Box?
I watched
know
some
you-
of it, yeah.
You watched some.
Not all of it, but I've watched some
Um,
of it. I definitely think he abused the kid. I think the kid has a tad bit of Stockholm syndrome because he was like talking about how they're not bad people, how everyone makes mistakes, and he wants everyone to realize they just made a mistake.
Aww.
Yeah, he was on the stand, and it was actually really sad. Like hearing that was actually really sad because they abused him. I don't think he realizes, you know, like that's a pure on abuse. Like
I didn't see. Was that at the end? He said that I saw most of his testimony, but I didn't hear that part.
I don't remember what part of it was. I listened to
Wow.
it. I'm just laying in bed with my eyes closed. But yeah, it was just sad. I mean, hearing him say that and knowing what happened, it was heartbreaking. Because I can get that in a way, you know? It's sad.
Yeah, and then so do you think the mother is going to get the same verdict, or was the dad a little bit more?
I think the dad was a little bit harsher on him, but I hope she does, but because of the harshness, I'm not sure.
Wait, how much did he get sentenced yet or no?
I know he was guilty, but I don't know if he actually got like his sentencing yet.
Yeah, I want to know what he got. Like how, oh man, what do you think he should get?
Yeah, I haven't watched. Oh, I think he should get, I mean, he didn't kill him. I know that sounds bad, but I can't see him getting more than 20 to 30 years. If even that.
Oh, I think that's even hard.
Yeah, if even that long.
Because he didn't physically hit him at all, right?
I
know what he did is abuse.
No.
I know, but like,
yeah, not physical like abuse. I know in the court of law it does matter though. No, I haven't seen anything that he physically abused him.
And how many years did?
Huh?
No, the show's not over. I'm still on Tuesday. We're just talking. We can still talk about Delphi. I don't even know what else to say about Delphi right now, to be honest. That's why I'm doing snacks. But if you have something to say about Delphi, do you have a topic? I don't care what we talk about while we're doing this.
Not really.
I don't even. Oh, I have something. There's another video that I just watched.
Hit me with it.
So I was so confused because you guys remember, like I've been watching Delphi stuff, but it wasn't one of those cases that I did like an extreme deep dive, like with the Watts or Lori Vallow. I did, but I didn't. Like I didn't know all the specific loopholes, and I'm still learning. So I didn't know like everybody involved. I'm one of the main people, but I didn't know some of the locals that people talk about, like, oh, this person or that, like as far as like the people that found them. I mean, I know that's confusing with those messages though. Even Anthony was like, well, this and them found them, but anyway, so that Cody Patty, which I was like, who is he? Like, I know he is related to Patty's, but I didn't realize why he was getting so much crap. So he is Becky and oh my god, what's the grandpa's name? Oh,
I can't remember.
Whatever. Libby's grandparents. I know it. I'm just having a it was Libby's grandparents' adopted son, so it's basically Libby's uncle. You know, because it would be Libby's dad's brother, but he was adopted, I guess. And his name's Cody. You haven't heard about? Because I've been seeing like people like how they talk bad. Like he doesn't have a good at least in this community with the Delphi, he doesn't really have a good reputation. So I was like, why? What is going on with him? You know, I've seen pictures of him. I'll show you a picture. I've seen like pictures of him, and there's a picture of him and Libby together. Like, what is this deal? What's this guy's deal? So, hold on. Let me just read a fact. So I might as well eat one of these. Why? Hold on, guys. We'll get to it. I watched a really good video. I'll share the link too on that 1 minute. Okay. So let's do. I got to do this first. I love this. Tutti Frutti. It's Kiki by Cross, a fruit-flavored toffee candies, a soft, chewy, in texture, packed with vitamins. Each piece depicts the flavor of the candy inside. Ooh. Flavorful taste in each thing. So let's do a Croatia and Serbia fun fact. Did you know the lucky people in Croatia enjoy 2,715 hours of sunshine a year? That's more than people living in Sydney, Australia get. All right. Okay, so thanks, Flower Power. I am going to enjoy. Thank you for coming, guys. Sorry if I'm boring you with this stuff. People,
Not boring to me. I like watching stuff like this.
but I feel
Good.
some of the people don't want to talk about Delphi, but it's okay because either I was gonna end it, and this is just for the people that like to do this,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, okay. So Cody Patty, so it's said like how there are some people that say like Libby had a crush on him. I haven't signed anything to like back that up because it's her uncle, but some people like she was like had a thing for him or something weird. Don't know where that's coming from, but so there's these messages between him and this other guy. I think his name is Matthew. I have him. I forget what his first name is. But basically, it says something like the guy says to him, "Bro, she's only 14," and then he says something like, basically like you only came in her one time and she's pregnant, and it's like back and
Okay, I
forth.
did hear about this.
But
Yes.
if you really, he said it's a song they were quoting, but if you
Mhm.
look at all of it, it does kind of sound like a song because it like rhymes and stuff. So I
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
believe that it was a song, but I know people don't come at me because most of the people are like,
Well, okay,
like-
some people there's a challenge on YouTube and TikTok and everything where it's like you text your parent or your friend or somebody like song quotes like in like separate messages like
oh,
that and make them think like about it. You can go watch like 10 of them right
oh,
now. So like maybe that's it. Just like a little troll type
yeah.
thing. Just a
No,
joke.
I mean, I think it
That was
could.
my first guess because I've seen a bunch of those. So it was a big thing like a few years ago, probably around
So
that
this-
time actually.
No, I don't think TikTok was around like 7
Well, no,
years
it's
ago.
YouTube is where I watch them on.
Oh,
I'm assuming
okay.
it's also on
Okay.
TikTok since I don't have TikTok, but I'm assuming. But since I watched it on YouTube, I'm assuming so. So yeah, but that's what it's been a thing for years. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah, no, I see that. Okay. So,
Yeah.
but the thing is when they asked like the name of the song, like nobody gave it yet, I guess. So then somebody asked the Michael that when he was quoting back and forth, they said, "Hey, were you and Cody saying a song back and forth?" And he's like, "What are you even talking about?" But I think that he needed context because unless if the person gave him context, but imagine somebody asking you, "Oh, what was that song you were saying?" This was like maybe a couple years ago or whenever they said it. Like,
Yeah,
what are you
right.
talking about? You're not going to remember, you know. So
Yeah,
I
maybe
think
he
they
deleted
needed
the
to.
messages or something, and he didn't even have it anymore or something. You know.
Yeah, and I think they needed to give him more context, but I don't know how
Sure.
if they did give him more context. But the guy supposedly the people that are like coming at him.
Why doesn't somebody just Google the song lyrics?
I know it's a rap song. It says supposedly it says so. Cody says somebody says, "Bro, she's 14 though," and Cody says, "It's hard to find that baby is mine. I only nutted in her one time." See, that rhymes. Mine time. I could see that kind of being like something.
Yeah.
That people, but wait, watch. There's more. So he says. We'll look it up then and see. Why won't this zoom in? Oh, he says, listen, bro, she know how to twerk it, though. And that's what Cody says back. And then Mike says, her daddy said to have her home by 10. And he says, I said, but I'm trying to be her friend. I'm just really trying to get it in. So is that a real conversation that he hooked up with somebody who's 14 and got her pregnant? Or is that
Sounds
rap?
like song lyrics for sure.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie.
It does to me too.
Sounds like a whole poem.
It does. So I don't know. But he gets. I mean, if you go in groups and stuff, he's not well liked. Now, the suspicious thing about him is he told. So he told Kelsey. So Kelsey was doing an interview or whatever, and somebody asked something like, "Hey, where was Cody, when the murders happened?" Because Cody supposedly got arrested, got off on like this work release type thing, but then broke his probation and went and had to serve like a couple years in jail. But then by the time the murders, he was out on like parole or whatever. He was out. But he supposedly said that he was working, but then they said, well, wait, he said he was with Michael. And then you hear Becky saying when she got home, he was home and he said, I'm going to go search for Libby. And he's like, here, I want to go with you. So it's like, where was he that day, really?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's real weird.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are, I don't know if they really think he's involved, but it's just a thing in groups that people are like kind of coming at him. because
Right, yeah.
They think he's like going for like underage girls because of that. I don't know if there's more
Right.
to it, but I think it's based on that, the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
it
I
definitely
don't-
does sound like song lyrics, but I don't know, man. I feel like that'd be weird. That'd be a weird conversation to have with your friend, anyways.
I know, wouldn't it? Like that back and forth doesn't seem like it's a. I don't
It
know.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a little weird.
Oh wait, what's TJ?
So what's the verdict? Is the snack good?
Oh yeah. Oh, this is good.
I
Uh-huh. But wait, what? Tuesday. I'm a little. Are you following Tuesday? Can you explain what you mean? Because you keep talking about Carter. What do you mean? It says no. Carter videos tell me that sheriff of ISP is not on board. What do you mean on board though? Can you explain that? You mean he's not on board with Richard Allen being? I don't know what you mean. Ashley, do you know? Because he said that a couple of times.
No.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I'm going up through the comments. I'm trying to.
All right, the next one, we're going to do another fun fact. Croatia is home to the world's smallest town, Hum. It's called Hum, I guess.
Interesting.
The hit HBO series Game of Thrones was filmed on the Dalmatian coast in Split and Dubrovnik.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, a person from Croatia holds the Guinness World Record of the biggest white truffle.
Okay.
I don't know why that got me all like, ooh, that's interesting.
That's a
Not
nice
really,
fact.
but
That is cool.
anyway, all right, so what am I gonna eat next? Let's do I guess this. I was saying I don't think any of them are gonna be gross because they're all like sweet. Ooh, Bananco. Look at this.
Ooh, that
Look at
looks
me.
like it's gonna be good.
Yeah, what the heck is it? Hold on, let me see. Like, what's on it? Bananco is banana-shaped chocolate-covered candy bar with banana-flavored foam center. Distinctive in
Okay.
its banana shape and flavor. It's a staple candy bar in Serbia. Oh, remember,
Okay.
guys, this is from a place called trytreats.com. I'm going to have to put the link. If you guys get it, use my, wait till I put the link in the description, but use my, what is the code called? Like it's a,
Sponsored.
yeah, like it's a code where like I'll get credit and then,
Yeah.
what do they call those? You know when people do it, what do they call those again?
Yeah. It's just their code for the site.
So zavgirl is the code you put in, you get 15% off, but you go through the affiliate link though. So go through the link that I have to post. Hold on, where is the affiliate link? Hold on. I have to find the, because how could, I have to find it, but yeah, if you guys want to order it, I don't understand how that could be specific to me. I have to find it on my email. But all right, let's see. Shaped like a banana, guys.
Right? I feel like this
What
could
the
either go
heck?
really well or really bad. There's no in
Wait, you
between.
say what? It's gonna
It could
look
either be really good or really gross.
okay. Okay. Oh, it's all smashed. It doesn't look like a banana really because
Oh,
it's
God.
smashed. Look,
Smashed.
it's smashed and
Oh
like,
God.
why does that look red?
Why does it look like a piece of sausage?
I know it does. Oh wait, it looks red on this, but it's not red. Like
Your
mine doesn't show
screen?
red, and it's not green, so it shouldn't be picking up green screen.
I don't know.
All right, let's try it.
It's weird. Yeah, it definitely looks like a piece of sausage.
not bad. It's banana flavored. The inside is a very unique texture. It's soft,
Okay.
but it's crunchy too. It's like this really fine
Okay.
crunchiness, but it's really soft too. And it's chewy.
All right.
Soft, chewy, and little crunchy pieces, but like
All things
very
I like.
fine crunchy pieces. Huh?
I said all things that I like. The
Okay.
banana, I don't know how it would throw me off though.
Yeah. You guys, I've been trying to watch my sweets. This was a bad choice because I was doing so good today, and now what am I doing?
Aw. It's okay.
I wish I could just give them to you, Ashley, or you. All right, let's do this one. This is called Keston Dessert.
Ooh, okay.
It's a chocolate bar dessert made with a combination of milk chocolate and whole chestnuts.
Ooh, I think I would like that one.
Sweet, unique treat. Really?
Yeah, I feel like I would.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Let's read a fact. The island of Brac has a beach that changes its shape after the winds. So remember, these are from Croatia and Serbia facts.
Okay.
Croatia has 1,244 islands, inlets to explore. It's one of the best countries in the world to go sailing. Okay.
Okay.
If I ever go sailing,
Go
yeah,
sailing.
Tuesday, DNA. No, you're right. If Elvis really spit on her, then the DNA. And you know what? That's going to make me mad because think about this. If they didn't take him serious, then did they get the DNA off of her? I mean,
I
did they?
tried to.
Because
Yeah.
if he really spit on
I'm
her, then
sure.
I hope they have it. Is that the DNA that they have, or is it?
I'm sure they searched their bodies for all over for DNA, right?
Yeah, yeah, I hope. But remember how
so,
like
yeah, you're right.
we heard rumors they had DNA, but then I feel like I was always doubting if they really
Yeah,
did.
yeah, right.
So I wonder if Richards didn't match the DNA, and that's why at the press conference they were very open to being somebody a second person or somebody else involved.
Yeah,
Remember how they kept it like
open? Yeah.
Yes. So wonder if because it didn't match, the DNA didn't match Richard or something.
Maybe, yeah, that's very possible.
Because I just think if Richard's involved, there's somebody else too.
I definitely feel like there's at least two people.
Yeah, me
I feel
too.
like there's more people who know, but I feel like there's at least two people who did it.
Me too. Yeah, I even think there could be more than two.
Ooh, that looks really good.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Wow, not what I expected.
Really?
Because they said chestnuts. Now, what the heck is that?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it's not a nut.
It looks like peanut butter.
I don't even know what that flavor is. It's not bad, but
different.
I don't know what that flavor is. So that's a chestnut? Huh. Maybe, you know how they make peanut butter out of peanuts? Maybe they made some kind of butter out of the chestnut, right?
Maybe, because I know almond butter does not taste like almonds. So maybe.
It kind of does, though. You don't think so?
A little bit. I guess maybe it would depend on where you get it. But yeah, when I had it before, no, it really did not.
My mom, because it's supposed to be healthier or whatever she thought, so she was getting it. But then I was like, man, I think it had like more calories. I'm like, well, it actually has more, I think. But no, I thought mine, it did taste like almonds. So I wonder if you got something. Was yours really sweet tasting or no?
Not really.
Yeah, mine, the one we got was not sweet at all.
No, it was organic. I know that one, but
yeah, it sounds like you might have got the same one me. Okay.
Maybe.
Euro cream block.
Okay.
I wish I could really let you have this. I don't want
I know, right? Like just bite it and pass it on. Like, both tell what it tastes like.
This is another chocolate. 2 pieces of hazelnut chocolate mixed with hazelnut cream. I don't even want sweet, so it sucks because
now you're just like forcing yourself to eat it.
Yeah, normally I have to stop myself.
Yeah, you can stop whenever. You already tried like a couple.
You think? But then to be able to like I don't know. I feel bad because for these people that sent it to me. Then I guess I could do it in 2 different ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm
true.
saying. Like, I'm sure they'll understand. Like, it's what
Yeah,
you
what
can
if I
handle.
do? Yeah. Well, what's this? Oh, have you ever had like those pieces of gum that are wrapped in this type, but they're small? This is what it feels like, but it's supposedly chocolate. That's weird.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait, guys, because I am actually full. For once, I do not want sweets, and I'm not gonna force myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, especially if you don't feel like it.
Yeah, I don't. What about is any of you guys watching the? I think it's I'm gonna have to put this in a zip bag. I think it's going on now, or the trial with the guy that bathtub murder or something like that. Did you guys watch any of that?
No.
I think it started. The guy from I think that's what's going on now on Long Crime.
I need to see that.
He's I don't know the details, but I think they're calling it like the bathtub murder. It's like I guess maybe he killed him in the her in the bathtub, or that's what he's charged with. Her husband.
Yikes.
Anybody else watching that? I'm debating whether I should take the time and watch it.
Right?
You guys want to like talk about it or not? Because trials take a long time to watch. You
Yeah,
know?
they do. I need recommendations here.
Yeah.
Things are like 6 hours, 7 hours a day.
I know. That's why I do it on like double speed. But like if I
Yeah.
ever, live stream a trial, it's like you can't do it double speed. It's like 8 hours
Right.
every day.
Sucks.
I'm gonna eat. Oh, it just ended? Shoot. Okay. Never mind. I guess it just ended, all saying said.
Well, then I guess
Well,
you wouldn't
then
have
what's
to. I guess you
next?
can watch it all on 2 times speed.
I'll watch the next one, whatever current one.
Yeah. I know there was the Take Care of Maya trial. Those are the only 2 I've seen anything of, that and the Boy in the Box trial lately.
What's Take Care of Maya?
Okay, so Maya was I think 8 years old, and she was diagnosed with CRPS is what it's called, which is it's regional pain. Like you'll have it in like a certain part of your body or even all over your body, and they describe the pain as worse than childbirth, the most pain that you could ever be in. And she was diagnosed at 8. Well, John Hopkins All Children's Center, they basically accused her mom of Munchausen by proxy, and that she was basically forcing her child to be sick. Her mom was a nurse herself, but she was taking her to the doctor. She knew it was CRPS. They were diagnosed once before, and then John Hopkins All Children's Hospital were saying, yes, complex regional pain syndrome, and but the John Hopkins Hospital was trying to say that she was doing the Munchausen and that she was making her sick, that she was really, like, it was basically all in her head. Her mom was forcing it on her. And they actually held her hostage in the hospital for over 80 days. It took her mom to commit suicide because they took her from her parents. It took her mom to unalive herself. Sorry about that. And she was released from the hospital, not then either, but a week later. And she went back with her dad. And she still has trouble to this day. So they're suing the hospital for like, I can't remember how much, maybe like 200 million. Maybe I'm wrong quoting that. I don't know. I could be very wrong. But one of the doctors already settled, but she's suing the whole hospital.
Wait, so the mom wasn't doing anything wrong?
No, she was not. No, she was not. And she has more doctors. She's had a lot of witnesses come and say like she wasn't faking it, like it was all real. But whatever.
Wow.
It's pretty sad. I mean, there's on Netflix, there's a documentary about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, so much crazy stuff.
And they did a lot to her. I mean, not only that, but like they would hold her down and pull her clothes up and off, watch her use the bathroom. Like,
why? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Though. Why would they?
Good
because
question.
they were saying that. So they're accusing now the kid of lying, right?
Yes. They were accusing her of lying and that she wasn't as sick as she said that she was.
How old was she? How old was she? 8?
I'm pretty sure she was 8 years old. Yes.
Wow, yeah, they better get the freaking hospital. That's making me
I hope
mad
they
just
do. It's
hearing
so
that.
sad.
Like, what?
Yeah, it's so sad.
Wow. Crazy, man.
Wolfpack saying she was 10, but yeah, one of those. It's around there.
But wait, what? Okay, so what was the thing that favored them, though, Mom? Like, what? So, what did they think that she had nothing wrong with her?
Pretty much. Well, the hospital also billed her insurance for CRPS while they're telling her that it's her mom doing Munchausen. But they're still billing the hospital to treat her, which they were not of CRPS. They were not treating her for it at all.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then this woman named Kathy Beatty, she was her social worker once the hospital basically had CPS take custody from her parents because of the mom. Kathy Beatty basically would make her sit on her lap. She told her, "I'm your mother now." No joke. Like, they said, "That's your new mom."
What?
Like, it's sad. There's so many messed up things about her. And she was arrested for there was a little boy who was, I think, 10 years old as well. She had knelt him down and put her knees on him, both knees. I'd read the article myself. And she was actually arrested for that, and she did a deposition and all that about it. But yeah.
Wait, so how many people should be, or in trial? How many people took part in all this abuse, basically?
The whole hospital, pretty much.
The whole,
like the admitting part, like, yeah, the hospital. There, she's suing. I don't know which doctors for sure, their names that she's suing, but there's certain ones.
dude.
One
that makes
already,
me mad.
yeah, one already settled. So, but it's all really sad. Like, I feel really bad for her because I was a sick child too. I have Crohn's disease, and when I was young, none of the doctors believed me. They all thought I was just trying to get out of school, and it was bad. And so I had doctors that didn't believe me, so I can relate to her on a personal level. And I mean, it's sad, man. I feel bad for her.
Man. Wow, yeah, saying, yeah, it's a little too late now. They're trying to like put, so
Yeah, they did it to the
yeah.
wrong mom. But yeah, they're
Yeah.
suing on behalf of also her mother for, like, on the emotional damage side of it, where she committed suicide.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. So, what other trials are going on? Yeah, that's we still have to do is we still have to continue watching the on Rumble, the 8 passenger stuff.
You're
There's some
right.
new body cam stuff I want to release.
Yeah,
wait,
I waited to watch it with you guys, so.
okay. Good. Yeah, so I forget where we left off. That's gonna take forever though, because there's like what 6 or 7 years, but we can
It's a lot of
slowly do
years.
it. I mean, I haven't been back to Rumble. How long ago was that? Like a week or two ago that we
Yeah, maybe like a week or two, yeah. So not too long.
Yeah, we got to get used to Rumble. I should make sure I do it like maybe at least once a week or twice a week.
Right.
Over there.
Just make kind of a habit of it. That's how you get people to subscribe.
I know, yeah, because maybe I'll end up liking it once I
For real,
get
yeah.
used to it. Maybe I'll
There's
like
a lot
it.
of people on there. I saw that myself.
I noticed, dude. Some of the live streams will have like almost 100,000 people watching at a time.
That's what I do. I told you on the first one, I was like, dude, there was like 100,000 people on this stream.
But did you look? There's a lot of them that have a lot. I was like, that's not just
wow, that's so many people.
I don't understand. Like YouTube, I feel like if you get that many on YouTube, it's like gonna.
I don't either.
The system or something. It's like, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, probably.
I've seen like channels that have like 1 million subscribers on YouTube do live stream, and they'll only have like 1,000 or whatever. You know, they don't have like. So
yeah,
Rumble
I see that a lot.
Yeah, like, but I'm like, how does Rumble have like these channels I've never even heard of have
live streams
like 60,000, 70,000? Like, they must
because we've never used Rumble before.
Yeah, I guess that's where to go to live stream. Maybe I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people
just like no censorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they don't turn into Patreon. Like, oh, Patreon's supposed to be no, you're supposed to be something you could just, you know what I'm saying? That stuff that you could
And it's
do that
not
you
true.
can't
Yeah,
do on.
yeah.
Look at what happened to me. Mine was freaking trial. It
Germany.
was from the trial. And I don't
Yep.
care. I know nobody, you guys can think what you want. Some of the people, most of the people in here, I'm sure.
They were all from the trial. I saw it myself. Don't be assholes.
They were all
Sorry.
trial. It was the coroner talking about them. So, but then you still have YouTube. You still have channels on YouTube that it's still up, but yet Patreon
Yeah, that's
can't
weird.
like took my whole thing down for it. But YouTube's allowing channels to have the same thing up, basically.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
Patreon's supposed to be more lenient. Where's the
No.
fairness in that?
There is
That
none
just
at
shows
all.
you there's no. They just freaking caved under the reports. It had
They did.
nothing to do with it being against anything because Natasha stayed up. I heard
They just
we
had
had
to
the
do
same
it
thing.
because
She
it
took
made
my
a
video.
mainstream.
Same thing. What's
Yep.
that?
They just had to do it because it made like mainstream. People were
Yeah,
talking
and
about
people were complaining. Hey, so,
They didn't
but
wanna
it just
look
sucks
bad
because
anymore.
it
What it
sucks because it makes people think that it was more than what it was. Like people that
Exactly.
didn't watch
Because
it.
now they
and-
can't even go see it. They can't, there's
Yeah.
nothing they can do.
Yeah.
You'll
And
never know.
it's just I hate how like most people didn't see it, and I hate how some of the channels that
Yeah.
have been trying to take me down since Kylie are the ones that were spreading the false stuff about it. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones saying
the same thing. Yep.
they're the ones that had the watch party and then told everybody lies about what they saw.
Exactly.
And then people trusted, well, they wouldn't lie because look, why would they
Oh,
lie? They've seen
I
it.
trust this
Sorry,
creator.
they did. Yeah.
Exactly. There were so many
Just-
people that I had to like put in check when I was just viewing their stuff. And I was like, dude, no. Like trying to say that there were certain things shown in the pictures that there was this and that. I'm like, dude, no. Did you even you saw them too if you watched the trial?
Exactly, Derpstein.
Plain
And I hate how
simple, you
people are
saw
like,
them too.
well, they blurred it. No, they didn't. We
No,
had the
they
same
didn't.
thing
It was
blurred.
just a
I had the
slightly blurred
exact
screen.
same picture as they did. It came from the same trial.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's bull crap. The
It
same
is.
blur and everything. And like, somebody was pointing out, who was it? Oh, Missy, because she went on Anthony's channel and she's like, they even said, like on my video, because I had the coroner talking, she even says, or the prosecutor even asks, oh, why did you blur that out? What do you have blurred there? Because it was blurred. There was no genitals because it was blurred. So I hate how people, oh, she didn't blur it out. When clearly the coroner's even talking about what was blurred. It was blurred out.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
the same stuff. I hate it. And then the thing, like, people saying I was making fun of it. No, I think those were all photoshopped. Because if it was in my Patreon, it was after I didn't have access to it, or when I went on my trip, I wasn't looking at who was writing it. I think if that wasn't my Patreon, somebody saying it, it wasn't me. I didn't see it. I would have removed it right away. And if it really was, it was probably one of my haters going in there to do it, to screenshot it, to make it look like there's stuff talk. But I'm not even convinced that came from my Patreon. I never saw it in there. And you can't, you can't even tell. It was just some comment about like somebody saying something about his genitals. Somebody, just one comment, and people were spreading it that it was in my Patreon. I don't even think it was. It looked like it could have been from anywhere. It was just like this cut comment. Looked like it could have been from anywhere, but if it was in my Patreon and I saw it, I would have taken it down. I didn't see it.
I know you would have.
But I don't think it was. I really don't even think it was. I think somebody just lied.
That's what it was.
Because if it was, they would have showed the whole thing to show it was from my Patreon. They wouldn't have cut it up. You know what I'm saying? Because if it really was, they would have wanted to prove and took the screenshot of my Patreon with it in there. It wasn't. It was just this little comment that could have been taken from anywhere.
Exactly.
It's bull crap. And then it was spread. It was spread that I was sitting there joking around making fun of.
You know what it shows? It shows how easily manipulated the true crime community is on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How easy